What's up, bro?
What up? What up? What up?
What's
Hey, y'all.
happening? What's happening, man?
Yo, bruh, I know y'all like, why the fuck are y'all on at 8 o'clock? Well, we ain't got no show to watch. So, we decided we gonna start things off at the time of the show, moving forward. But anyways, welcome everybody to Watch Them Thrones.
What's up, gang?
What up, bruh?
We back, goddammit.
Right. So look, man, we got a couple people in the comments. Ashley Bretona Finley, she said that theme music, though. Listen, it is fire. Shout out to my boy, my cousin, Caleb Darren Faulkner, for hooking us up with that hot ass intro.
Cold ass track.
It's
Facts.
cold. The
Cold intro
copyright
track.
folks can't get us because it's ours. So
I be one Big Son to lay down a couple bars over that joint too.
You need to put some bars on that bitch.
But you know what? Maybe we could talk to him about getting us a Game of Thrones, House of the Dragons rap. You know what I'm saying? A hot 16 is just throwing this bitch.
Bars.
Yeah. And if
Spitting that
you
hot
go
fire
hard,
like Vhagar.
right?
Man, it's been a long ass week without y'all, man.
Man, for real. We ain't had no show to plan and plot out. Damn.
Yeah, man. I'll chat about the show. It got cut shorter than Lucerys's flight.
Golly.
God damn. That shit got cut off like Vayman face.
Yeah, man. R.I.P. Luke, man.
Oh,
man.
R.I.P. to little Luke now, man.
He was a good kid.
You know what? Look, before we get into this episode, which we will be recapping, giving y'all our favorite moments of season 1. We just gonna throw it out there. So what we will be doing is, instead of Watch Them Thrones, we gonna do a rewatch Them Thrones. And we gonna do it bi-weekly, So what we decided to do is we gonna start from the beginning, season 1, episode 1 of Game of Thrones, but we will cover 2 episodes each podcast. So it's in 2 weeks. We're gonna kick everything off with episodes 1 and 2. So don't forget, y'all.
So if you ain't never seen it, if you ain't never watched Game of Thrones for some weird ass reason, then this would be a great ass time to start. You can start with us, man. We're gonna start from the first scene.
Yes, sir. And we're gonna dive right into that shit.
We gonna talk about it like we ain't never seen it before. You still gonna get the bomb ass recaps, from me, and the dope ass takeaways from Leslie. And shit.
We're gonna go ahead and keep the party going.
That's right. Hey, and you know what? There may even be some ways in which we observe the show differently now, having, House of the Dragons, as a new reference point, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Because all of that is a prequel to the shit that we saw in Game of Thrones. So like that shit ties the fuck in.
Right. Like we watching this motherfucker in reverse.
So let's hop in the comments real quick. Samantha Woon said, "Phew, I've been missing y'all, motherfuckers. We've been missing y'all too."
We missed you.
Hell yeah, we missed you.
Pop the
I'm for
molly,
real.
I'm sweating. Woo.
I'm going through HOTD House of the Dragon withdrawals, y'all. I
Man,
ain't
I
gonna lie
woke up
to
this
you.
morning like,
Man,
man, ain't no
listen.
dragons today. God damn.
For real,
Right.
man.
Ain't
How many
nobody
of y'all
told
out
me
there?
nothing.
You know, how many of y'all going through House of the Dragon withdrawals on this motherfucker?
Like a motherfucker, bro. Like damn football season. Bring them dragons back.
Right.
But you know what? We got 2 years. We did get some good news though. They did say that the Corliss story is coming out. So
Okay.
yeah, that's why I got my name. He a pirate, so that nigga gonna be Black Sparrow.
Negro-Garians on the way, as Leslie would
Yes.
say.
Negro-Garians, they goes. It's about to be on.
They really ain't gonna like that shit. I done gave this nigga. They should have never gave you niggas Game of Thrones.
Right.
Listen.
So let me just say it one more time. We gonna do rewatch, and we gonna drop the podcast. We gonna do it at 8 at the same time that the show would normally air. Instead of waiting till 9, because niggas got jobs and kids and all that. So, but yeah.
And I'm on the East Coast.
They said snow coming soon, man. Not winter, but snow. That's what Caleb said. So,
but you know who ain't coming?
Man,
oh God.
Y'all know who ain't coming though?
Let me take a sip of my fucking drink first. God damn it.
Oh, God damn. Man.
Wait,
This
the
nigga,
wing,
man.
no, the burnt up wing.
This nigga got the program ready, man.
The program ready. Oh.
Yeah.
Why this nigga say return flight, dog? Hey, dog. Why that shit say departure and return flight, dog?
Talk to the people.
Not return.
Oh, Lord.
Why the fuck it got return flight, dog?
Oh, God.
Shame.
Listen, man. he was a good son. He was a strong son. He was a scary son.
And he was supposed to be a quarter black.
That was a good baby.
He was supposed to be quarter black.
Supposed to be a quarter black, man. That boy was strong white. He was strong white.
Strong white. Strong Caucasian. It's all good. It's all good. We were still
Luke,
we were still riding for him.
Damn, Uncle Luke.
Look,
Lord, I just wish you would have stayed low.
When she told him to go as when she was talking about sending ravens, and Luke was like, Jason was like, send us, and Luke was like, shit, send who? We should have known then he wasn't coming back.
Well,
his quarter black instincts kicked in.
Right.
He didn't want to be over Driftmark, so
shout out to him.
He ain't got to worry about that now.
Shout out to that little piece of mosquito wing that's left from
Yeah.
God damn. That shit still floating in the air.
God damn. All right.
Hold on, what was Luke Dragon name, y'all?
Arax.
Lemon pepper Rex.
Oh no.
Hey, you remember, dog? Remember when Damon was naming them bitches like DMX?
I do remember. Damn.
And Maylee's hit that nigga with that.
Right.
You just shut out my dragon, nigga.
Fried hard, man. Fried hard. Golly. Poke.
I don't know, man. Vhagar ate them wings raw. She ain't even fry them bitches. That's why she spit them hoes out.
She went fried hard or nothing.
She ate the bones and everything.
Them bitches was wet.
The Westeros plate.
So look, man. Actually, when Viserys got through, it looked like this motherfucker right here.
Oh Lord.
Oh God, here we go.
Man, listen, man. That plate came through and I had just got off the plane, man. I was so hungry that night. Wasn't nothing open at the airport, y'all.
TJ, the funniest shit, nigga, I don't even remember you stopping to get a plate. I just remember chicken being eaten.
Right.
You know what?
And you know what? Like, we talking about the best moments of House of the Dragon. That was probably one of the best moments of this podcast. where CJ was doing what Leslie liked to so eloquently call nigga shit.
Man,
You know what? I go back and listen to that from time to time, man, just to like really, and especially with like my boy Carlton, aka Balerian, just egging me on, bro. Like just trying to make sure that we're as canceled as fucking possible.
Nigga shit.
Bro, that was a funny ass episode. Man.
Oh man.
Good
That
time.
was a funny episode.
Bro, we talked about our top 10 from House of the Dragon. We could have did a top 10 from the recaps also.
So good. Hell yeah.
We could have had a top 10. We should have. That's what we should do. We should let the audience do a top 10 recap. Top 10 moments from the recap shows.
That's actually a good
dope.
point.
That'll be dope.
That's a good point. They'll be fucking fighting in the comments.
That was
That
was the Driftmark episode.
Them niggas be worse than the fucking Dragon Pit.
Hey, Keisha Zuri Johnson said, I log in for the nigga shit.
That's what I'm
Don't
talking
we all,
about.
baby? Don't we all? Don't we
You
all?
gotta drop that hand with that shit now, Keisha. You got to drop that hand. Nigga shit.
It's a Big Saint, easy money.
Right.
So let's get into it, man. Like we don't have a certain order or this is 10, this is 9, so on and so forth. We just got favorite moments, man. And I guess we could start just go around the room, talking about favorite moments. For me, dog, it was when what's the little boy, the little dude when everybody was trying to get at Rhaenyra and he killed
a little Blackwood, little Samuel Blackwood.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't that part where he killed little Blackwood. It was the black lady standing in the crowd.
I forgot about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
dog.
That was
right.
That was a good ass
That
moment.
shit.
There's a lot of niggas in this show named Samuel, by the way.
Man, it's a lot of fucking Samuels.
Yeah.
Hey, one thing about George R.R., that nigga gonna recycle them goddamn names.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly.
Oh,
Nigga, how many Aegons have we seen in this season alone?
Oh my
I think
god.
we saw three in a
that's
possum.
facts.
God damn. That nigga gonna recycle them names. Shit, we saw the nigga that was playing the fucking guitar shit for Rhaenyra by the tree. That nigga name was Samuel.
Somebody gave one of their all-time favorite moments. Erica Thomas said all-time favorite Vhagar was what? Older than a box Chevy.
Right. Man, that been like, God damn, I gotta fly again.
Hey,
Damn, I feel like flying.
when it's cold out, niggas gotta go start Vhagar up and let her warm up for 10 minutes before they get on her back. You gotta start that bitch up and let her.
Gotta get that motherfucker warmed up.
Hey, here's a good one too, Leslie. Samantha Wu said a top 10 takeaways too.
Oh man, you know what though? That would be good. I just, you know what? Like, to be honest with you, and I'm not patting my own back or nothing, but it's just so many. It's just so many gems, man.
Man, I don't know how you gonna narrow that shit down to 10.
To 10?
Yeah, because it was so much material. Like between y'all, between the comments, between just my own fucked up mind, like it was so much shit that I got a chance to derive my takeaways from that. Like, I don't think there's any way I could do top 10, maybe top 20,
That's hard to see.
maybe, and that shit is hard because I started doing fucking 60 takeaways.
Hey,
that nigga,
right?
Hey, why this nigga sounded like Randy Watson? He was like, it was so many.
It was
Don't you agree?
Don't you agree?
It was so many. Don't y'all agree?
Give it up for my band, ladies and gentlemen. Sexual chocolate. Sexual chocolate.
Oh, that boy good.
Hey,
lingering and lingering.
When Targussy made his debut, dog, that was crazy.
Yeah,
Targussy.
And fingering and lingering.
Targussy, fingering and lingering. The Lego set, which
what the fuck TK said? The fucking 4 P's, nigga.
The 3 P's. The 3 P's. Passion.
You talking about Oh shit, poverty penis and passion fruit.
Nigga, I'm talking about they came from everywhere. From the nicknames we was giving these motherfuckers.
The fucking Lego set milk, like milk of the perk 30s.
Man,
I mean,
yeah,
like, just so much shit, man. We just, god damn, we niggified that show.
Yeah, we came up with our own lexicon.
Between Westeros Plan B and that bitch.
Yeah. Between us and the audience, man, we was coming up with some creative ass shit all season. I was looking forward to the shit that was going to feed us, delete us, tea.
I forgot some of these. I forgot about
feed us, delete us.
Feed us, delete us.
Goddamn what? Hey man, why the hell the Warrior Queen ain't on here? Why you ain't on here with us for this recap?
I don't know. She could pull up to the set.
Pull up, Warrior Queen.
Oh Lord.
Hey, I'm about to send her the link.
Tell her to pull up one time. She's supposed to be on here with us.
Man, but yeah, we had some fun time, boy. We had a time this year, this season. We had a time this season. For real, but I mean, I guess
why the fuck black folks get to rubbing on themselves with some shit fun? Oh yeah.
That's
like it's either fun, that shit good as hell. Like, that shit was good.
Hey,
that's so soothing.
So Alvina Satterfield said when Vhagar said her children are bastards and she is a whore, he meant that shit with all his heart. Listen,
he said it with his chest.
That was the most heartfelt whore I have ever heard in my life.
Man,
them niggas heard that whore back in Driftmark.
Yeah, that nigga was giving black youngster a run for his money, because I ain't never heard nobody say whore like black youngster. But Vhagar gave him a run for his motherfucking money.
I'm on.
But you know, though, man, Vhagar was so goddamn nigga shit. Like he reminded me of my daughter, bro. Like, you know how like your kid, they'll do some shit and they'll look at you before they do it to be like, I know this motherfucker's not about to do what the fuck I think they about to do. And then they do it, and then they look at you video out and they fucking do it because they like, I don't give a fuck at this point. I'm about to get my ass whooped anyway. Why stop here? That's what Vhagar was like. I'm about to cut my shit about to be gone anyway. So what's the fucking point? I've already made it this far, goddamn. For real, man. Like, I respect him for that shit. I rewatched that shit a couple times, and the more and more, I'm kind of like, you know what? I get it. I get it. Them was some bastard ass kids, and he called that shit out on it, and that was his fucking family legacy.
That was his property, man.
Had an ounce of goddamn LA Valerian in them bloods. That was all number strong blood. Strong.
Right.
That motherfucker went up to that motherfucker like Ike Turner when he was talking to that judge by their goddamn name, though. My daddy gave me that name.
Nigga, I ain't got nothing.
I tell you.
I got some clothes, I got some jewelry and everything else. I got tied up in investments.
Daddy gave me that name.
Head ass nigga.
Right. Shit.
Okay, so the kicker for me though with Vhagar, like, yes, I understand all that. That nigga was like, hey, fuck them white boys. This some nigga shit, this hot shit. It's me, this goddamn, my daddy's name, goddamn. Okay, cool. Corliss wasn't even motherfucking dead yet. He put that nigga all the way in the grave.
That's a good point. That's that second son shit.
In the grave so quick, like, hey man, fuck my brother, man. Go pass that shit to me one time.
That's that second son shit, man, which is a theme all throughout this show.
I thought you was finna say that was something else.
Yeah. Also, nigga shit. Nigga shit. Second sons are the epitome of nigga shit. All of them. Even date back from Game of Thrones. Tyrion. That's my favorite all-time character. Nigga shit.
Nigga shit. He was all man.
All throughout the show.
Tyrion is the biggest non-black nigga in Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah, by far. By far. Right, nigga like to read, fuck, drink, and just
be a fucking smart ass.
Shit.
Yep.
Yeah, talk shit. That's what he likes to do.
Yep.
Read, drink, fucking fuck, and talk shit.
Tyrion be playing dominoes.
I would love. You know who I would love? I would love to see a conversation between Tyrion and Daemon, and just see the wits fly back and forth in that motherfucker. That shit would be like fucking epic. That would be fucking legendary.
Man,
I can't wait to recap his ass. Anyway, so
Let's kick it a little bit.
So this is what we gonna do, y'all. Because we'll sit here and talk shit about nigga shit all night. How about this? How about we start from the beginning and let's do like the main or biggest scene or incident from each episode. So like we'll start from the beginning, episode 1, and I think the biggest thing that for me was Emma and her cesarean.
Yeah.
Like that fucked me up, dog.
That shit was powerful in a way that like the whole scene grabbed you. Even kind of understanding like the shit that was happening and watching it happen, it was still like, man, please don't let this fucking shit happen. Like you watching a fictional fucking TV show, but like you still didn't want the shit to happen to her because like the magnitude of what you were fucking watching. That shit was heavy. What up, though?
What's
Hey.
happening?
Oh, there she go.
What's good?
Like, how the fuck you ain't gonna pull up with us for this shit? You better get your ass in here for this shit. Hell yeah, you want to. Shit, yeah, you want to.
Hey, it was G-Ho here in the borough. I've been doing all of that all weekend. You got to sleep sometime, but that's all right. I'm here with you now.
Facts.
We're glad to have you up.
That I think that scene was like the biggest catalyst for us getting women on with us, because like nigga, we couldn't talk about that.
Yeah,
well, let's also call it out, right? Black, more specifically black women, right? We talked about that the first episode, but like the medical racism that black women go through to this day. I mean, like a lot of fucking black, like that was I'm pretty sure traumatizing to a lot of women of color.
Definitely.
Like just the lack of fucking care that they receive during labor in a lot of these, supposedly institutionalized and top tier hospitals.
Yeah.
So just to see that shit back, I mean, like there, it's just, I mean, like I wrote about that shit on my takeaways, and I kind of meant that, and it was one of the only times where I wasn't really joking. Like you kind of like, oh wow, medieval white women kind of like black women in 2022.
See,
yeah, shit is crazy.
Yeah, man, that definitely. That was a sobering moment for sure, man. Like, but the significance of it is it really sets the stage for understanding how important it was to both the king and the kingdom that this child be born under his understanding of what we would learn to become the song of Fire and Ice. Ice and Fire. I always mix that shit up, man. But,
just call it Fire and Desire.
Fire and Desire. Fire and Desire. The song of Rick James, bitch.
Shit, nigga, spicy and cold, nigga.
But yeah, it sets the stage for that because we know that Viserys is tormented by the decision that he made, and this is our first introduction to him, and so you might get the perception that he's a cruel person that's willing to do anything, in order to have what it is he wants, because he does, wind up sacrificing Emma. But we learn so much more about the arc of who Viserys is and about what Emma meant to him throughout the course of the show. And so I think that's definitely obviously very significant moment.
Yeah.
For that first episode. It was fucking definitely, it was probably most graphic scene. I mean, other than the other two instances of women giving birth in the entire series, to be honest.
It's crazy though, dog, because like, they was having the competition and shit, and the way that dude was getting his head just busted wide open, like that was like some crazy shit. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, man, that's crazy. Ain't no way they can top this.
Shit. Two scenes later, my boy.
Right. And then they said, watch this. They said, "Watch this." Like, look, they were ready to shock our conscience in a way like that. Got us ready to know like this show is gonna hit us with some real shit. Like, I mean, I knew we were gonna be in for a ride, but you know, I wasn't prepared for that in the first fucking 25-30 minutes of the show. Like, you don't. Well, Leslie and Carter's mom might have perceived that Emma was writing her death certificate when she was sitting in the bathtub saying,
"Yeah,
you know,
more kids."
But I didn't think she was gonna be off the motherfucking show in the first 25 minutes of that motherfucker.
Man,
so
I don't know.
The only person who was on there a shorter time was Damon's wife.
X, right? Grand opening, grand closing.
Well, they was knocking white women off quicker than OJ.
Allegedly.
Nigga, if we wasn't fucking canceled before, nigga.
Goddamn.
God. And
no Kanye.
Divorce Rock. It is right, like divorce. No, that's that OJ Rock. That David hit over.
Hey, look, somebody said when Damon had him Rhaenyra up in episode 10, he told Ad, "Don't make me get my Divorce Rock, bitch."
Boy, that was so fucked up, man. I was still shook by that shit, man.
Oh shit, man.
Damon told, man.
So you know. We saw in episode 1, Damon was with the shits early too, dog. Like it was crazy, you know. My boy lost his wife, lost his baby, you know, and Damon like, man, fuck that nigga.
Damon like, cheers.
Right, man. That
cheers to the air for a day, my nigga.
Right, that nigga fucking in front of the crew, man. That was some wild shit, man. Wasn't that the same episode?
Yeah.
Like, damn. Like that.
Well, there's a lot that happened in each episode. Like, I mean,
it happened, man. Like a lot of people feel like it moves slow, but if you go back and look at everything that took place from episode 1 to episode 10, a lot of shit fucking happened, man. And like, even I know I spoke on this a lot on the episode 1 recap. Probably one of my favorite moments from that first episode was that Great Counselor 101, because you continue to see that, and I said that on that first recap, you was gonna see that underlying tone come back again and again and again. You was gonna continue to see the prominent men reference that moment, and every time somebody says something about Rhaenyra being the heir of Viserys, that's what Viserys wanted. Motherfucker always threw that Great Council back, but just like, for them to even depict that shit, that was one scene that I didn't see coming, even though it was brief. I mean, it was like, what, maybe the first minute and a half, 2 minutes of the episode. But like, to see Jaehaerys in that bitch and them go through the process of showing you how Viserys became queen, how Rhaenys got overlooked in that whole moment, that to me, that was one of the dopest moments for the whole fucking series, because I didn't think we was going to see no shit like that.
You know, the thing is that Great Council, right, is just like sets up this like patriarchal fucked up society, right, where men continue time and time again to just grab, take power that may have been supposed to be given or women are supposed to earn. And throughout the show, Game of Thrones and this show, you see in time and time again men just stumbling and bumbling and fucking up time and time again, and for women to pick up the pieces, only for women to eventually just snap and just say, fuck y'all, like fuck everybody. Okay, y'all, but y'all want to do this? Y'all want to play it this way?
Right.
Cool. And we see that shit time and time again. And I think that you know, the seeds even being laid for Rhaenyra and Alicent as the seasons go on, for them to snap and for them to say, you know what, fuck this shit. I'm about to fuck all y'all up because y'all don't want me in the position that I want to be in or that I am in. You know, if we're gonna, I mean, you know, and that's just and that's the theme all throughout Game of Thrones and House of Dragon.
Leslie, I thought you were finna say the women was just gonna be like, y'all want to talk shit, y'all want to run y'all mouth. We had the people like y'all motherfuckers. We gonna set this bitch off.
Let this bitch off.
in the words of the great philosopher Boosie.
So, you know, no,
I missed that. God damn it, CJ, you right.
Episode 1, you know, it really did set the tone for what we saw. And then, you know, we get to episode 2 and we realize Otto is a stone cold pimp because he immediately put his daughter on the track.
I'm talking about, man, he told her to put that shit on, man.
Go put your mama's dress on, bitch.
Right.
That's what I have as my moment for actually episode 1, because when he told her, go holler at Viserys and put on that dress your mama used to wear when we was about to, you know, get it popping. Like, that was the moment I was like, oh, okay, so Otto is gonna be this series Littlefinger. Like, he has no limits, and there is no line. Okay, that's what we doing. Right. So that was the moment for me, and to see him use his daughter as a pawn the entire series was, or the entire season was interesting, to say the least.
Hey girl, quit fucking with your nails. Put your mama dress on. Go get that nigga some pussy.
I'm telling you,
that fight shit. Stop doing that shit. Put your goddamn mama dress on. That shit look nasty.
Fuck, girl, you about to fuck this shit up for us.
That's crazy.
But you know,
man.
he wasn't. Remember, he wasn't the only one. He wasn't the
damn.
only one.
That's
you know,
true.
cause Uncle Sid ain't Niecy was like, shit, she'll be 14 in about 2 years.
Right.
You could take her too.
Man, that was crazy. That was such a. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the daughters, you know, being the big pawns that got moved around to give more power to the potential power to the families as they moved up closer to the throne. You know, they were important pieces, but they didn't have any power. Therefore, they were pawns. And then when Alicent, Alafeet, whatever you want to call her,
run through them all.
Nigga shit.
When she started, you know, bucking back, when she, you know, picked up the knife and cut Rhaenyra's arm after the Vhagar thing at the Rhaenys funeral, and how she acted after that, and then her daddy said, "Daughter, I didn't think you had that in you." You know, so yeah, Otto wasn't the smartest, of course, and his brother was, you know, pumping him up to move him up the ladder, and that's how he got where he got. And that's when Viserys confronted him with the 5-day speech.
Man, I swear to God, I can't stand Wish Tywin Lannister. I can't stand man.
Yeah, I was about to say, because he's more like Tywin than he is Littlefinger. Larys is Littlefinger type character.
Yeah, Larys is more Littlefinger. Otto aspires to be
Otto is right. Yeah, Otto is fucking his wish.
Oh my God.
But you know what though? We're not gonna... But just like Celestial was saying though, the pawn shit, right? Like the men or the boys, their bodies are pawns on the battlefield, and women's bodies are pawns in the bedroom, and in the you know, like through like as far as alliances and marriages it goes. And so it's interesting to see how Alicent especially knows that she catches on not that fucking fast, but fast enough, and she's still going through with it. Which says a lot about her, which why I call her fucking like 53% of white women voted for Trump.
Man,
that's who she is in a nutshell, right? Like she knows that she's being used by men, but she does it anyway because she thinks that that's her purpose. That's
it's gonna serve her in the
my goddamn neighbors. Yeah, man. I mean, she knows what she knows the mission. Like she was down with the cause from the beginning. So
even when she was trying to act like she wouldn't, they didn't stuck me in this role to bear heirs. Like you've become very adept at what you're doing right now, and it's a reason for that. You enjoy the power that comes with the position. You can sit bitching on. You can sit bitching on all you want to about Viserys old ass calling you to his chamber at the fucking hour of the owl and shit. Go in there and bust it down because you like exactly what come with that.
Yeah, Lee.
Jesus.
So Viserys was making her bust it down.
Woo!
Yeah, Lee.
Viserys was busting Allison down.
Goddamn, dog. You
that nigga was trying with half a back.
Right.
Oh no.
He had half a back.
that old ass nigga was putting out some cherries, man.
Nigga, I ain't never seen
the only thing that was working.
Man, you said go in there and bust it down.
Bust it down.
You sound like Etsy Otto. Yeah.
Bust it down,
It's an Otto.
Oh my god.
Hey, one episode too. This is also the episode where Daemon stole the eggs and then Rhaenyra pulled up on him.
That's my favorite.
That's
favorite
episode
moment.
2. That's episode 2.
That's my favorite moment of episode 2. I put Rhaenyra's pull-up game.
Go ahead.
No, I was just, the way she pulled up, she had swag with that thing. She pulled up on the side of Otto and them, and she rolled through the crowd. She parked her dragon. She rolled through the crowd with her pimp walk, and she looked at him and was like, "Yeah, so y'all better not flinch or make no sudden moves, because my dragon will light y'all up.
She'll fuck you up.
You at my crib, give me back the egg, and get on up out of here." So
Celestia, let me ask you this.
Yes.
Why the fuck she drove that dragon like a Nissan Altima?
Wait a minute, like a Nissan Altima
with the eyelashes on that bitch.
Look at her goddamn baby daddy.
And when
what Craig is?
Hey, now fuck around and let me see Daemon flying around on Cyrus. Hey man, you flying around too fast on that girl goddamn dragon, man. Go park that shit. Jody and the fuck out of her dragon.
Man, she has Otto
fucking eyelashes on the fucking on the headlights.
Goddamn Debo Otto ass. Oh, that motherfucker. She Debo Otto ass. You want some of this too, old man? No.
I said with the diamond steering wheel.
Shit, I'm gonna go to the motherfucking house.
Man, she whipped that thing though. She whipped that thing on that bridge so motherfucking quick and told Daemon ass to get out her goddamn castle.
She did. And
that
she
shit made me hype.
How old was she on that scene?
Like 15, 16.
Yeah.
That was because initially they were in the council meeting, right? That episode. And that's when she became the cupbearer. And she was listening in and was like, yo, they were talking about the Stepstones and all the shit that was going on down there. And she was like, we can just go on our dragons and light these motherfuckers up. Man. And they were like,
take the little girl out and let her
go. Right.
Go pick the knights and shit.
They wanted her to go. They wanted her to go somewhere and be pretty.
Right.
That's when she picked Kristen Cole, bitch ass.
Right. True.
Everyone's favorite number one fuck boy.
Bitch ass.
Man, Kristen Cole damn show flipped the script. I'm talking about he Westeros Drizzy. Like fuck that new nigga that you love so bad. Right. That nigga, I'm serious. That nigga I'm talking about that nigga drunk texting, man. That
nigga said, yeah, like so you want to move? The Essos and start a new
right.
And they was like, what? I'm about to leave all this.
Right.
And she really, bruh, and what's fucked up about the whole shit, like he said his little piece on the boat, and Rhaenyra didn't even like really reject him, right? Like she didn't just blatantly say, like, nigga, what the fuck you tripping? She was really just like, hey man, listen, we can't do that, but I want to keep, moving how we moving. Man, that tender dick ass nigga turned around and walked away and ain't said 2 words to Rhaenyra ass since then.
Right.
She was like, whole ass shit. That nigga's a hoe, dog.
She was like, nigga, just take these royal mustache rides and be happy, my nigga. If you do that, we will be Gucci. But he couldn't do that.
Right, like which is super selfish on his part, right? Because it's his fault that he broke his fucking vows. It ain't
Right.
I mean his vows to the King's Guard. Like that is not her responsibility. I mean, like that is on him. If he want to quit and move to Essos, go ahead.
That nigga was her lover and her second.
Tender dick ass Kristen.
He was her lover and her secretary, y'all. You understand that, man?
Secretary.
Secretary. He was a lover and a secretary.
I hate that food, right?
I hate him.
Jeff, I hate that nigga too.
Stand Lord Tender Dick.
So,
and a couple of y'all motherfuckers in the comments were trying to take up for that nigga.
I ain't gonna lie, I was one of the niggas. I came for Christian Cole. I came for Christian Cole. I didn't want to say y'all two motherfuckers. That's what I mean when I say comments.
I was taping
y'all
for
two motherfuckers.
I was taping for him, but I didn't know what he was gonna turn out to be. I
call that nigga the end of the road from Boys to Men, nigga. Y'all motherfuckers didn't look.
I did not know that nigga was gonna be a certified bitch.
Sherry Gilchrist said, Sir Harwood understood the assignment. Get that tar goods and keep your mouth shut.
So let's talk about the late
nigga shit.
Harwin. So what I peeped throughout the season for Harwin, he was always kind of in the background. He was ready to be, the cleanup man or the backdoor man, depending on what song y'all listen to.
He was in the back door. I mean, in front door too, I guess.
So back door, front door, side door, ear. I don't know. Armpit.
He was the Grand Maester of side niggadry.
That is.
He was the epitome of know your role. He knew what it was. Like,
he was playing his position, man.
He played his position, and he did
that nigga got to see his children. He got to be in their life, but he wasn't held responsible for raising their ass. He really had it made.
He ain't pay no child support or nothing, dog.
No child support, nigga. That nigga ain't had to go through them people or nothing.
He ain't had to sit in on the PCA meetings.
He saw him.
He ain't had to go to no cheerleading contest, no baseball games. He had to do none of that.
But y'all know fucking Harwin ass had been checking for Rhaenyra since she came back from killing that boy.
Yeah. He was one on the one smiling.
That nigga was peeling squirrel looking at him.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, this bitch. Oh, this is."
Harwin said, "I'll fuck the shit out of that girl."
Carrying that motherfucker hog like that, huh?
Man, damn.
Harwin, though, but you know what though, he did put his kids for only being a sometime ass father. He put his kids at a slight disadvantage when it came to that fighting shit, because he didn't really work with them as much as Kristen Cole did with fucking Allison's kids with the fighting. Right. And so Harwin, for as valiant as he was, that nigga ain't passed down a lot of his fighting skills that Luke and Jace should have been fighting with, aka with them genetics and mixed with their skills, they should knock Aemon little ass out when he stole from Vhagar.
Cause by all accounts, Harwin was that nigga.
Right, he was that nigga.
Yeah.
Hey, he whooped Christian Cole's ass.
They called him Breakbone.
Right. He whooped Christian Cole's ass.
He did whoop Christian Cole's ass.
He whooped that nigga ass.
Yeah. Sir
Christian Cole didn't really fight back though, because he was that bitch ass nigga, right?
Yeah.
Right.
He wanted to get the reaction to break bones more than he did anything else. He
wasn't even
trying to fight.
That was the nigga that saw he saw in Flea Bottom too, didn't he? That was him.
Yeah. Running through the alley.
That was Harwin.
What fuck he was doing in Flea Bottom anyway?
He was
Flea Bottom.
Okay, all right.
He went to City Watch, and then he ended up becoming the Lord.
Okay, that nigga was 12. All right. Okay.
Yeah. Then that nigga was the chief of 12. Goddamn it.
Golly.
Well, I forgot, shit, nigga. We forgot about the Blue Lives Matter shit Damon was doing in episode 1. Nigga. We forgot about that shit. That nigga.
Hey. I ain't even gonna trip though, because at least they was only fucking up white people.
Thank you all. It's been awesome.
Thank you so much. Good night.
Good morning.
We appreciate y'all for tuning in to watch the show.
White on white crime.
No chasing.
Ooh.
Shit, they finna kick us off of Apple. God damn it.
Hey, bro, listen.
The Flea Valley.
if you don't want to do the show no more, man, just
call that shit Flea Bottom. Wait a minute.
It's all
right, I'm done. I ain't gonna say no.
Down in Flea Valley with
a mace.
We apologize in a non-Kanye like fashion.
Flea fucking Valley. God damn.
Yeah, bro.
Jamila Cooper, bow down to you. Bow down.
Miss Cooper.
We ain't never getting the HBO deal now.
That shit been done, bro.
Adidas just dropped us, goddamn. Like the fuck.
That shit was done when CJ was eating the fucking hot plate. Goddamn, that shit was fucking done right then. That nigga's like, oh, God, that's just fucking ridiculous.
Oh my God, nigga, we fixing to have to sign with Sketchers.
The fucking Iron got the whitest nigga on the show, fucking it up. My bad.
We got to sign with Sketchers now.
Malcolm X, but Malcolm X is always the light skinned nigga, right?
Westeros Red.
Malcolm Little, the start of the show, to Malcolm X.
Westeros Red.
Damn, man. At least we went out with a bang in this motherfucker. How do I lead this motherfucker?
So we talked a little bit about the Stepstones, which I guess would bring us to, this was episode 3.
Episode 3.
When Day decided he wanted some crab legs. So
I like how CJ brought us back.
Yeah, man. Hey, shit. We gonna keep it. We gonna keep it playing.
Come on back.
But they wanted some crab legs, man. So talk to me about episode 3, the crab legs, the setup. What y'all remember about that scene?
One thing stood out for me was like the very beginning. Like Damon had like fucking 2 or 3 lines the whole episode, and it was all at the beginning. You know, when he was flying through with the dragon, he was basically like, "Drehar, bring your bitch ass out. I'm gonna feed you to your crabs." And that nigga did that shit.
He really took that nigga whole torso
and fed that nigga to them fucking crabs. Left him out there.
But the way he beat that messenger's ass,
man,
was like
done.
Like we said again, bro, it was like you get your ass whooped and you realize halfway through the ass whooping, this ass whooping ain't about me.
Yeah,
this is about something else entirely that ain't got shit to do with me. And so I'm gonna just take this ass whooping because there ain't shit I can do about this shit. Right? Like, because I mean, he was so upset with his brother basically essentially giving him a handout and him not being able to prove himself, that he just took it out on that nigga who we don't even know where the fuck he probably still over there in that goddamn mountainside, bro.
Man, fucked up.
Damn, get right.
Up.
He's still over there in that damn mountainside, man. Just getting up. That's the
reason niggas send ravens now, dog.
Yeah, that's the first real sign.
Exactly.
That's the reason niggas send ravens.
I feel like that was the first time we really, really got to be introduced to Laenor and Vaemon, as well.
Vaemon.
And
also known as Uncle Petty.
Right. And he was being petty at that moment. He was ready to, essentially leave Daemon at.
Hey, Billy Ocean Valerian didn't give a fuck who he get over on. You know what I'm saying? Cause like he was like, man, fuck Daemon.
Goddamn Bobby Womack.
My boy said, we ain't signed up for this. Fuck Daemon. Let's pack our shit. Get the fuck on out of here.
That nigga was ready to roll.
Man, ready to get up out of here.
That's when he officially started fucking around. And then episode 8, he found out.
So let me ask y'all a question though, real quick. Just like on a military battle strategy type shit. I've watched that episode a couple times, and I still don't get the reason why they were the ones that were starving for resources and not the niggas trapped in the mountains or the caves, right? Shouldn't it have been the opposite? Shouldn't their supply, I'm talking about craft feeder supplies, been the ones cut off? Hence the reason why, basically you could starve them out. And on top of that, they got dragons. Why the fuck are they not just blowing massive amounts of fire
in the hole,
in the entry points?
Yeah, I was wondering about that shit too.
Right, because
I would have smoked them niggas out.
I don't know with the shit with the supply chains. I could definitely see that shit. Like, how in the fuck y'all not getting supplies and the fucking Patriarchy is getting supplies to these niggas? As far as the dragons, like the way they set it up was when the dragons would fly overhead, them niggas would run into the caves, and that would basically
right. And
kill all that shit.
You know what though? Which kind of reminds me of the reason why Afghanistan, for example, is so hard to
niggas
take over, because the motherfuckers just hide in the mountains, right?
Yeah.
So no matter how many bombs and shit the U.S. tries to throw at them, you can't really get your target the same way.
Right.
You know where they are, and they're essentially ineffective. And so that's a good point with the dragon shit. I'm still kind of wondering about the supply shit, because that's
now the supply chain. Like I said, I don't know, because like to me it seemed like they both had access to whatever side of the narrow sea they needed to get fucking supplies from. So I don't know why.
Well, yeah, I would imagine they had a surplus of shit too, since they was robbing motherfuckers for. I don't know if it was months.
Yeah, everything the fucking pirates had, they was fucking stopping niggas from coming through the narrow sea. But like I said, it's two sides of the fucking sea, so
and by that time the Valerians had kind of taken over the sea portion of it, or at least they were. I mean, like at least there was some conflicts there. For the main part of the crab feeder army to be in the mountains and them motherfuckers not be able to get to them is kind of weird. Anyway,
I think because so the reach where they grow the food, the Tyrells, where they grow the food, is on the other side of Westeros. So they would have to sail down and around the bottom of Dorne to come up the other side to Casterly Rock. Because think about where the Narrow Sea and Driftmark and all of that is, and the food is on the other side. Well, if they can't get to the mainland and they can't get to Bravos to get what they need, they get cut off.
But wouldn't they be able to get something from King's Landing though? I mean, because this is the direct, in the Narrow Sea, obviously, once you have the Narrow Sea, that goes straight to King's Landing.
Yeah. So Celestial just said King's Landing wasn't participating until Viserys sent, those ships.
Gino took over the sea.
Y'all just made me realize something, man.
What?
Y'all talking about Westeros and this and that. After all these years, I still fucking struggle with geography.
Hey, I'll finna say, you niggas ain't take your fucking Westeros geography class, goddammit. Now see over there, goddamn.
Hey, look, nigga.
Right, nigga. Hey, like my dad be like, yeah, if you travel northwest, I'd be like, nigga, what?
I did not know. Yeah, nigga, I couldn't
right or left.
Nigga, I couldn't tell you where motherfucking northwest was. Right, goddamn it. Now,
what the fuck I put in the GPS? Shit.
Right. Nigga, right or left?
I've never understood people who understood that shit, dog.
Erica Thomas in the comments said, I got the impression that hating ass Otto and the council were holding up resources.
Because they ain't want them niggas going over there anyway.
Wouldn't surprise me with Otto's bitch ass. That's one motherfucker who has his fingers in all kind of shit.
But you remember when they was talking about that shit? I think Otto made a statement to the effect of if we were to do anything now, it would make the crown look weak. So I think that was a good comment.
That's right, because that was when they were getting ready to send the ship.
Yeah, when they were asking for help, but they had already been in the shit for like 2 or 3 years, so they was like, hell, they've been fighting this war for 2 years. If the crown were to act now, it would make the crown look weak. So that was a good comment.
And Corlys and what's the name didn't get along either. Corlys,
he been undercutting.
But Corlys has his own fucking money. He's the richest man in the goddamn kingdom. So I mean, in one sense, in another sense, well, goddamn it, privatize some of the resources. Like fucking. It's like goddamn Elon Musk going to war. Like you can buy a whole lot of you can buy a whole lot of shit from Quick Mart, goddamn it.
All right. Let's slide on to episode number 4. This is where
How to feed your dragon.
This was when Ray was on the Bachelorette.
Yeah.
Ray was on the Bachelorette.
Bertha Targus. This when it went down.
Yeah. That might have been the first episode we busted our Targus and
freaking nigga. Sir Tender Dick got him some of that Targus.
Sir Tender Dick.
It wasn't. No, this ain't the same episode. No, this ain't the same episode. Yeah, that's the next episode. But yeah, so Daemon comes back from the war from after he fucked shit up. He the prince of Driftmark now.
King of the narrow seas.
King of the narrow seas. King of the narrow seas with his motherfucking crown.
King.
He bends the knee, and then he shows up talking high Valyrian to Rhaenyra in the garden. Shit. And later that night, he sent a motherfucking what you call it?
Sent a care package. He sent a spend the night bag.
A spend the night bag. That's what that's the word. He said that spend the night bag included with a motherfucking scully. With a scully. When she put on that scully,
a whole go bag.
Exactly. That whole bag. To go bag. But when he gave that to her, when she put that scully on, I knew what time it was. I was like, oh. It's about to go because that's how they used to come out the dorm. You know what I'm saying? I heard that's how they used to come out the dorm.
You heard it come out tickling doors?
I heard.
Is that what you heard? Allegedly.
I'm like, yeah. You know, she finna go see what she can see real quick. Hey.
Sorry, guys.
It's all good, man. And then, so they hit Flea Bottom. Wow, we are talking about Flea Bottom right now.
I can't talk about Flea Bottom looking at the baby, dog.
Earmuffs, baby.
If y'all done heard my mouth on this show, you know she done heard anything I done said on this motherfucker.
Hey, she looking like, why you can't talk about it?
Exactly.
Like she could be like, Mama, I want to go to Flea Bottom. No, what the fuck you doing?
You go to Flea Bottom, goddamn.
So let's talk about Rhaenyra's experiences in Flea Bottom, and even from the time she found the secret chamber.
Let's see with the baby there. She there was some stories, and there was cookies and punch, and
that was damn some cookies.
Yeah, it was some cookies and some punch.
Cookies and punch. Some milk and cookies.
Yeah, there was some milk.
Anyway, man, there was some holes up in there, boy.
The baby gone.
Go ahead on top. There's some holes in this house. There's some holes in this house. There's some holes in this house. Yeah.
You see how a 2-year-old can bring a whole kingdom down, man? Everybody, motherfucker. All little shit.
Keep the party going.
2-year-old have us all shit.
Yeah, they was in Flea Bottom doing some bald-headed whole shit.
No. That was when Leno cut all his hair off and left. He was doing the bald-headed whole shit.
That was just some bald-headed shit.
But
like, no offense, TK.
So they go down to Flea Bottom, and obviously Rhaenyra has never been down there, and she's green clearly, and Daemon is taking her out for a night on the town, and the first place he takes her, I think the first place he takes her is the play.
Yes.
Why did he take her there first?
I think he wanted her to see what the commoners thought of her whole situation. I think it was a little bit of, the characters on this show, they're interesting because they often have more than one motive for something. So to me, it felt like, number one, I want you to see what these people really think about you. Number two, they don't want you to be queen nowhere. Ray said she was about to say that.
The comment says, from Khaditra Robinson says, Ray said she was about to throw that ass in a circle.
He was ready,
Throw that ass
right for the picking. But yeah, I think he wanted her to see what people thought of her, but also to kind of it was kind of a good chick. Like,
Yeah.
And so two things that I thought about from that play. For one, was the parallels to Arya, right?
Tripping,
like, there was a lot of Arya parallels, Arya Stark parallels. From the whole thing about her getting on the cap to her being mistaken for a boy. This is what Arya was doing episode when after Ned Stark was killed. You know, and then on top of that, Arya, when she saw that play of her father, that's another parallel. More like $2 whole shit, right? And on this episode, it reminds me, man, and this is something that this show does a great job in doing. Nothing is put there by accident, right? Nothing is put there by accident. The people matter in this show. The Flea Bottom brokies, them motherfuckers matter. And bro, them niggas so broke. God damn. Broke as fuck. Them motherfuckers are like, I don't want to touch y'all niggas. But like, them motherfuckers, as broke as they are, they fucking matter. And that play, that's important. That's probably, to me, going forward, one of the most important moments of this show, because that's going to tell a lot about what's going to happen and possibly happen in the future.
You niggas got me crying, dog. I can't lie.
Yeah.
I'm crying tonight, dog. Y'all been wild. So y'all in these fucking comments, dog. Y'all wilding tonight.
So the next place he takes her after he, takes her somewhere where, she learns this, and I guess somebody in the comments said he took her there to be humble. Then he took her and gave her drinks, right? I don't recall her really. I don't recall her drinking in any episodes before that personally, but he took her and got her the drinks and shit like that. And like once she had a couple drinks in her, you know what I'm saying? He got her that Casamigos.
They fighting kids like
Jamila Cooper said they so broke in Flea Bottom they fighting kids like roosters. Oh my god! Oh my god! That is fucked up, but true.
Niggas is so broke. Oh my god! I'm like, god damn, boy.
They really was. They
that shit look like fucking North Florida.
Fighting them kids and betting on it.
That shit was really gladiator type shit, man. They had a little motherfucker
down there gambling on them children's lives.
But after he got off the Casamigos, though. You know what I'm saying? Then the motherfucker. So that was another thing that kind of made Damon sleazy to me too. Like, like she already vulnerable. She younger than you. You know what I mean? Like she impressionable. She green. Yep. Then you hit her with the couple drinks, and then you take her to the whole house, and it's already popping in that motherfucker. I'm talking about they doing everything in that motherfucker.
AKA you got her off the yard.
Right, got her out the yard. I'm talking about they grinding salt and pepper in that motherfucker.
Y'all know how important that is. Getting them off the yard. That's it.
Man, look, man, you got your own spot. Like what? This is nice. You know what I'm saying? You got your plug-ins plugged in. So this nigga already ready. You know what I'm saying?
No, dog, I'm married. Let me go ahead and shut my ass down. I'm getting too fucking excited now.
That nigga got the plug-ins plugged in, y'all. So he ready. You know. And so he take her to the whole house, and then talk to me.
I stand with whoever said Ray was about to throw that ass in a circle.
Yeah, but then he did all that build up and couldn't perform, so that was interesting.
Was it that though? Like, was that okay? Let's speak on that, because there was a couple different instances where that was like, there was an instance with the White Worm, there was this instance in the whole house with Rhaenyra, and then there was the wife before he hit her with the divorce rock, who said you couldn't finish. So was there more like, was there blatant like intention on them trying to say that he had like some kind of ED or some kind of problem getting it up? Like, was there more there to that, or was that just like coincidences throughout the show?
It seemed like his dragon wasn't bringing no fire at one point in time.
But shit, I have a different opinion.
Had like 6 children.
Yeah, that's true.
I have a different opinion. So I think that he really was in love with her, but he never noticed that. Just short of him showing his big emotions, it got cut off, or the scene would change, or whatever. So I think he was a little emotionally entangled, more than he thought, with Rhaenyra. And he snapped to, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing?
Right.
And that's how he pulled back. I think he just fucking hated his wife because she was a ball buster. So let's just call that.
And on top of that, as he was saying,
that's what I was looking for, Warrior Queen. That's what I was looking for. Like, was it something along those lines? That's what I was kind of thinking. That's what I was trying to see if anybody else felt like that.
Yeah.
I agree.
But Rhaenyra was really about to get down in there with every motherfucking body. Like, she was really about to...
Jamila need to come on this fucking show.
She is throwing nothing but fucking heaters, dog. But she's always been throwing heaters, bro. The whole series.
Whenever you ready, Jamila, you welcome. We're gonna be rewatching them Thrones. So
we got Cooper clapbacks. All right now.
Just don't let us scare y'all by inviting you on. Shit.
Never mind. I'll take it back, shit, because we ain't seen TL since episode 4, goddamn.
We missed TL. That was one of my favorite things about Watch Them Thrones. TL Thompson's comments and a few of y'all others' comments.
We invited TL and TL said, fuck y'all.
Man.
He said, fuck the internet.
TL out there with Tupac somewhere, goddamn. Wherever pocket. With TL.
All Damon needed was that gas station 3000, nigga. He would have been
that gas station 3000.
Gas station 3000. That nigga would have been good. He would have been pumping and dumping, baby.
Man, that nigga probably still be hard to this day if he took it.
Woo!
So I want to say, if
I don't need that visual.
Going on what you said a moment ago, Warrior Queen, if he had feelings for Ray, when he had the opportunity to, I guess, have her back, he didn't do it. He let her down when Viserys called him in and was like, "Did you deflower my daughter?" And he didn't confirm nor deny. He just was very ambiguous with his answer, so that he could give the illusion that they had done something.
And that is the exact reason. That's the exact reason why that Bye Baby T was introduced to the show.
Right.
Because of him.
I would say that. Go ahead.
Think about this, that if Viserys had said, yes, you are going to marry her, then he would have been free and clear. He could have been as freaky deaky as he wanted to, because then he had the permission of the king. Okay. And that would have taken any kind of roadblocks away. And she was feeling him too. You know, when in episode 1, when he gave her that necklace, and then when she was on the Bachelorette tour, and she's sitting there, you know, like this with the necklace, like, I'm thinking about you, Damon. I'm thinking about you, Damon. You know, so the feelings were there back and forth. And it just took 20 damn years and 4-5 kids later for them to really get together and get with the get down.
Them wild and wonderful whites of West Virginia, Westeros was a motherfucker.
Woo! See, you done said a mouthful.
Damn. How the hell did you even come up with that?
Whites, like White Walkers, by the way, is what he meant.
No. Listen, have y'all ever seen the wild and wonderful whites of West Virginia?
TK, let me answer you like this.
That's a real show.
It's a real show.
That's
crazy. TK, answer me this question. What is this?
I want y'all to watch it. Yes. So listen. The wild and wonderful whites of West Virginia is about this family, dog, the whites, and like they are so inbred, like
some wrong turn shit.
I seen that. The Hill Have Eyes,
Targaryen shit.
Listen,
no. Yeah, Targaryen shit.
Yes, they out Targaryen the Targaryens, nigga.
Golly,
they are the Targaryen. I'm telling you, man, they direct descendants of the Targaryens.
It's what you're saying. Yeah, so what you're saying is Alabama. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Is that what we're talking about? We're talking about Alabama.
Them niggas got dragons or not?
Niggas got dragons. Yeah, they got dragons.
Got
they probably got like a little motherfucker like running around that looks like a dragon. You know, that thing like
ass
shit. Like
them niggas got mosquitoes the size of dragons.
Hey,
like it got like fucking one arm and shit. Does like this.
Fact.
We got but like in the comments, we got Mookie, Paulina, Carissa. They said I synced it. They are super inbred.
Super inbred.
Okay, move.
So Damon just had it. His heart was for Rhaenyra in that way, and maybe I think with Damon, it was kind of, if I can't have the throne, nobody can have it, and if I can't have Rhaenyra, then nobody can have her too. And so it was kind of like, look, I'm gonna fuck everything up for everybody, and see what happens from there. And what we know is that even when Damon was doing things that seemed like they were impulsive, they were still always calculated and always deliberate. From the time he went back to the Vale and killed his wife to the time that he pulled up on Rhaenyra, took her to Flea Bottom, and basically set her up in a whole house and basically left her there naked or almost naked. He knew what he was doing in that moment, and he knew what it meant for her in ways that she didn't understand what that would mean when she was seen and perceived that way. After planting those seeds in her head about being able to do whatever you want with whomever you want when you are royalty. So I definitely think he was manipulating her, and I definitely think he was being opportunistic in that moment and saying, well, I'm either going to get the throne as a result of this, or I'm going to get the girl, or I'm going to get both, because I want to ask him to let me marry her. Then I'll be the, what is it called when a
king consort?
Thank you. There you go. So I think that was what that was really all about. Let's transition to the next thing, which is episode 5. Episode 5 is
that's the last episode with young Rhaenyra and Alicent, right?
Yeah. It's the episode when Joffrey shouldn't have been talking shit at the wedding.
Facts.
Woo.
Facts.
I believe that's that episode. So at this point, at the end of episode 4, Rhaenyra makes a agreement with her father to marry somebody because of the trouble that she got into as a result of the going out on Flea Bottom with Daemon and all the rumors that was, going around and shit. So she
had to
agreed.
Take that goddamn fetus to lead us.
Right.
Yeah.
So she had to drink the moon tea. And she goes and meets with Laenor. Well, actually Viserys goes and meets with Corlys at Driftmark. And then they're Rhaenyra and Laenor have a conversation, and she kind of tells him about this agreement that they're willing to have. And so as a part of that agreement, Laenor's lover is a man named Joffrey, who is real slick by the motherfucking mouth, like real slick. I mean, he got all the goddamn tea on everybody, and he ain't afraid to let them know he got it. And evidently he had not heard about Criston Cole, but he could tell that there was something between Rhaenyra and Criston Cole, right? Because obviously when she got back from Flea Bottom, it went down with him and her. And so he approached Criston Cole. Y'all kind of take me through that and tell me what your thoughts were about anything in that episode, but particularly the wedding and the setup leading to those moments.
Okay, so leading up, so there was a lot of power play and going back and forth. So Uncle Corlys did not come out and greet the king. Okay, Laena did. Okay, and she was like, my father just came back from a trip. He will meet you in the throne room, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that was breaking protocol right there. You know, and Lord Strong was like, is this how you greet your king? You know, kids was out playing in the yard, like it's just another Saturday. And you know, they see the king, oh, you know, your majesty. But and then when they get in the throne room and Viserys and Corlys are going their little back and forth, that some of that, you know, well, how are the children going to be named, and whose last name are they going to have, and how are they going to, what's the line of succession, and this, that, and the third. So he was trying to keep his name, you know, will the children be named Valerian, or will they be named Targaryen? So they had to go back and forth about that stuff, knowing that Viserys has been throwing up the whole time he was on the boat, and he probably standing there looking like green polka dot something, because he could throw up again.
Hold on real quick. Okay.
The comments going ham.
Right. Rosalind Pickett Thornborn said he was talking real slick to be a +1. She talking about Joffrey. He really was loose at the mouth. He was talking real slick to be a +1. Ashley Brittany Finley said, now who else want to fuck with Hollywood Cole?
Nigga shit.
Oh,
sorry, Elise. My bad, y'all. My sister calling me. God damn, she know I do the podcast on Sunday.
fuck your podcast, nigga.
Y'all keep talking. I'm finna mute my shit. Y'all keep talking. Nigga shit. Keep going.
A couple of the biggest standouts for me. Yeah, I'm my bad. A couple of the biggest standouts for me from that episode. Melees and Rhaenys flying in on Melees. That was the first time we got to see the Red Queen Melees flying beside Laenor on Sea Smoke as Corlys and them entered in like some fucking OGs. That shit was just gangsters fuck to me. Like Corlys and them stepping in that bitch with the drums and the dragons on some nigga, we got more money than y'all niggas type shit. It was nigga shit at its finest. That was a beautiful moment to me. But for me, the most significant moment of that entire episode, and it was big. I was wondering when they would do it, when it would come, and I believe they did it. They set it up perfectly. Alicent walking in late in that motherfucking green dress, cause that shit was so significant to the entirety of the series, the entirety of the greens versus the blacks, the way they did it, how they set it up with it. Oh, everybody's here. You know, you thought they made you think everybody of importance was already there in attendance. Viserys is making his speech to open the whole feast, and Alicent step in that bitch like, wait, just one goddamn second. And she stole the whole shit, man. And that, to me, like, a lot of motherfuckers don't like Alicent. I ain't a fucking fan of Alicent, don't get me wrong, but that shit was G. That was some G shit, how she stepped off in that bitch.
I have a different favorite moment from that show, and it goes back a little bit to when, like, my favorite is young Ray. I'm the older adult Ray is cool, and I think we're gonna see her kind of revert to her attitude and behavior after what happened in the final episode. But I liked how they had her approach Laenor on some G shit. She was just like, look, I know you like boys. I want to do what the hell I want to do. Let's just go ahead and get married. We'll try to have some babies. But in the meantime, you do you, I do me. We ain't got no problem. Like, I thought that was, especially for her to be that age, it was like a sign to me, like, she was very sure of herself. She was very like, this was gonna pop off. I know who he is. They didn't have her all pining after Laenor and wanting him to be different and trying to make him change and all of that foolishness. It was very much, I know what this is. I'm gonna do my duty for the kingdom, but I'm gonna have me somebody on the side, and you should too.
I think all of that was set up by the previous episode with Daemon. I think all of that was a product of her being influenced and groomed, as like a lot of people have said in the comments. Daemon was a master fucking groomer. He was grooming her, and that in turn turned Rhaenyra into what we saw as far as she understood the importance of her political marriage and her duty and all of that shit, but she also didn't give a fuck about it. And that shit ended up causing her grief and strife because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My favorite episode, my favorite moment of that episode was, I think it's something that, like, I felt that shit to the core when that nigga did it, was when Viserys just fell the fuck out. He just said, you know what? Fuck this shit. This shit, it was like just too fucking heavy, man. He was just like, you know what?
It's over with. My nigga knows started bleeding.
I'm done. Like y'all can have this shit, nigga. Like I'm done. In the way that he fell, and I rewatched it, and I remember I saw the crown falling off his head, and that was like a real subtle. It was real subtle imagery, because it was like the crown, when Viserys dies, this crown is going to be there for the taking, right? It was just like out in the open, and it's just like anybody can grab it. Who in the fuck is going to grab it? Which goes to show you how much that everyone is gearing up for battle. Meanwhile, Viserys is just trying to fucking stay alive, and this nigga is just like, one of the reasons why he's so sick is because of everyone around him being really and truly like just gearing up and having their own set of problems. And you see the factions forming. Even at the wedding, you saw the factions forming. You saw the factions talking to each other, talking about each other. And Viserys just said, fuck it. Like, bro, I don't blame him. Because, there was a lot of shit going on.
And that was one of those things, too, what you just said, Leslie. Like, a lot of the reason why we saw Viserys' death, like, sped up so much is because all these motherfuckers around him doing all that fuck shit. Daemon spoke on that shit, too, in episode 1, saying, like, they're the council of their leeches. And they're draining you. And that motherfucker spoke that shit right on into existence.
And they're rats, because the final image was the rat really like eating on Joffrey's blood,
but
right?
I think there's more significance to that, and I don't want to speak on it without spoiling shit, because I think I'm gonna spoil some shit if I speak on the significance of that shit.
I think you should speak on it. Just like speak on the fact that Larys could be a fucking green seer in the rats.
Facts, like the fucking rats and shit. This nigga controlling these fucking rats, and goddamn, it's some niggas coming called Blood and Cheese, and them niggas is scandalous. And I think they was.
Oh, you talking about Blood and Cheese? I thought you was about the green seeing of.
I think them niggas was alluding. I think the rat and the blood in that moment was alluding to Blood and Cheese.
Well, that could. Oh yeah. Well, that's.
I think that's what I think that was about. But we'll see.
So one of the things that happened in episode 5, the wedding episode that I'll call it, is we start seeing y'all call him Skeet Feet, I call him Slick Daddy Crip, whatever you want to call him. He starts winding his way around Alicent. Alicant, whatever part of the body he's trying to get to. And so we see his machinations really starting to work on her. And as we see it through episodes 6 through 10, over the 18 to 20 years after that, how he has really wrapped himself around her like a python, just in spite of what her father's trying to do. Yeah, he's squeezing one way, her father's pulling the other way. She's just like really caught in the middle. So that's one of the first real concrete things we see about him in this episode.
Right, which also speaks to the Sea Coal rescue, right? It's her lack of allies. And so every time Alicent's felt cornered, she's turned to these figures who are on their face, just like troubled. In Larys's case, fucking evil. Otto is manipulative and scheming, and this is pretty obvious. And Sea Coal is just like a broken fucking toy. And she turns to these men who have all these faults and all these setbacks and all these negative attributes, and she turns to them for counsel and for protection. And for guidance. And so, that's something that, as much as Alicent has the capacity to be, like to be actually pretty good, right? Like in a sense that she sometimes has those good qualities, but then they're all ruined essentially by like a lot of the influence around her, and she allows these influences to really seep in and to control her moves, which is like extremely fucking frustrating, but also extremely fucking pumpkin spice of her, So I mean,
very much so.
It's no like, at the end of the day, you kind of just sit back and say, she deserves it. Fuck her.
She thinks she has the moralistic high ground, and she really doesn't. So hello pot. This is kettle black. Yeah, no, girl, no.
I find it interesting that Alicent wants to portray or present like she's got this moral high ground, but you were the first to betray, and to be quite honest, because you were courting this girl's father and she didn't have any idea.
He never said a word, and that's supposed to be
never said a word. You didn't give any indication, and then when he announced he was gonna marry you over there looking like, who, me? Like, you knew what it was on the whole.
You ain't a hoot owl,
right? So she just got on my nerves, and that was like actually the moment where Slewfoot Larry entraps her is my moment for episode 6, because I just thought it was so fitting, because like you play so innocent and now you done got yourself in a pickle and you got yourself wrapped up with somebody you cannot control. She's not going to be able to control him because he thinks 5 steps ahead of her. And
he's scheming every fucking body.
Right.
But
it's all for his own personal gain.
Yep. Yeah, once he did that killer stuff with the death row inmates, and I was like, okay, you can hang in 2 days, or I can cut your tongue out and you can live, and you're gonna go kill these people for me, but I'm gonna cut your tongue out so you can't tell nobody.
Right.
Wait, y'all, it's a comment I want to read. We can't put it up on the screen because CJ had to take a minute. But it said, Kaditra Robinson says, all this would be settled if Ray would let Allegra munch the carpet.
Linger and fucking
linger. Interestingly enough, I read some comments basically saying that Otto's reasoning behind putting Alicent on Viserys, other than that grab for power, was the fact that he found out that Alicent and Rhaenyra were having a thing. So that was like his way. That was just some shit I read. I think that was some fan theory. I don't think that was anything from show writers, but I just thought that was an interesting fan theory, since we had already been saying that they was fingering and lingering.
Yeah, we said that from day one.
Right. So
I was watching a video where they said the actress or actors decided to kind of give it that vibe. That was not in the script, but they chose to kind of play around with that idea.
They played around with it,
Yeah, damn right. They played around with it. Like, they were playing DJ.
So where are we? What are we on episode 5? We're on episode 6.
We're episode 6 with the.
So what else happened in 6? Was that where we in Pentos with Daemon and Laena in episode 6 when they flew Caraxes and Vhagar together? Was that 6?
I think so.
That is correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Because episode 7 is when Aemon steals Vhagar. So.
Right. So it's okay. So it's also same episode when Laena. That's Laena. We see all. Yeah, we did see all that in one. So
right. Exactly. So we see Laena dying.
The birth, Laena died. All of that shit.
So episode 6 is for me just like when Rhaenyra, all the shit catches up to her. Right. It's like, and as much as we root for Rhaenyra, again, I say this shit time and time again. It was cool to have a kid, like with one motherfucker not named Laena. It was okay to have another kid, but that third one, man, that shit solidified her like entire arc, and the reason why she was in the position that she's in now, and the reason why she had to leave King's Landing and go to Dragonstone, and the reason why she was when fucking the change of power happened, she was at a disadvantage because she wasn't at King's Landing. All that shit came back to haunt her. And as much as we know about how, like that relationship was, and then we know that they at least the Batters try, her and Laenor, as far as trying to conceive children. But, for me, like, it just, like they could have tried harder, in my personal opinion. Like eventually it just became so much overwhelming evidence, which goes to show you about how like much she courts breaking rules, which is fine, right? And which is the reason why we kind of root for her, because she's a little bit because she has that rebellious streak. But when it comes to politics, that gets you in fucking trouble, especially in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Especially in Game of Thrones, when you do shit that is that obvious and that fucking, in my personal opinion, that fucking stupid. And so, I mean, like all that shit came back to haunt her, and including that horrific walk up the stairs that she had to go through while she's like at the same time leaving this trail of blood, which is just this, which has all kind of symbolisms, right? Like including the family tree with the Targaryens that we see at the beginning of the episodes of every episode and shit like that during the theme music. But also just like, just the whole like woman pregnancy thing and the afterbirth that happened. I mean, all this shit, all that shit just like, I mean, those were her actions coming back to bite her in the ass.
Definitely.
Let me say this to Foxy real quick. Foxy says, I wish y'all could do the OG Game of Thrones podcast. It's a lot of people who never seen Game of Thrones.
Oh, we was going to do that anyway, baby.
2 weeks, baby.
Hello.
See us in 2 weeks.
We was going to do that. Go ahead, CJ.
Episodes at a time. Hey, Fox, 2 weeks from now.
Did the
episode 1 and 2, season 1, episode 1 and 2, right here.
That's right. We gonna do that, baby. We doing rewatch them Thrones with the Watch Them Thrones crew.
Facts.
We will start in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. We doing season 1, Game of Thrones, episode 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
So try to stop at 2. We know y'all niggas can't, but at least try to stop at episode 2.
Man, we watch it together as a family.
Watch it together and then just stop.
Hey, if y'all don't watch that shit with us, y'all moving funny.
So y'all heard what Foxy said. You heard what Foxy said. We gonna do that shit. We gonna do that shit, Foxy.
2 weeks. OG Game of Thrones podcast. 2 weeks. Episode 1 and 2. Season 1. Game of Thrones.
We coming and we bringing that motherfucking thunder too when we do.
My nigga Ned and them. Big Ned energy.
Can't wait, baby. Can't wait. I had to step away for a second. Y'all were talking about Rhaenys fucking
real
up.
Quick, I wanted to respond. I want to respond to Leslie over here. Like, so fuck, I forgot what the fuck I wanted to respond to. You said some shit.
He was talking about the strong kids and Rhaenys fucking up.
Yeah, so like, okay, with her having the third child, with her having one child by Harwin, and then the second, and then obviously the third. Like, do we think, is there any thought that at some point Rhaenyra may have thought that one of those kids was just going to come out looking like her, even though she was having sex or having kids by Harwin Strong? Because when you take and look at Viserys, right? So Viserys had Rhaenyra with Aemma, both Targaryen descent, both white hair. So they both had the features of Targaryen. So obviously Rhaenyra was prone to have the features. But when you look at Viserys with Alicent is not Targaryen. She doesn't have any Targaryen heritage, blood, no features, none of that shit. Yet those children came out with the white hair, the eyes. They came out with Targaryen features. True. So at some point, do we think that Rhaenyra was just thinking that, these are Harwin's kids, but maybe one of them is going to come out with my features? Even though
I thought about that, but at least in these instances, and in most instances that we've seen in Game of Thrones universe so far, it seems to me for some fucking whatever reason the male has the more dominant gene. Right?
Yeah. And, except for fucking Jon Snow.
Except for Johnson, you're right. Except for Rhaegar, right?
Except for Rhaegar. These niggas don't have no rules with genetics. They just be like,
no rules whatsoever.
We'll switch to genetics when it's convenient. Goddamn it!
Motherfucker, Jon Snow looking storyline. You're right about that. It's not just a storyline. Because in reality, these motherfuckers supposed to. I mean, it's supposed
it led me. My two theories on it was the one that I just said was that Rhaenyra, obviously, I feel like Rhaenyra thought at some point one of them fucking kids was gonna look like her. So that's why. And then two, I felt like in her own way, she felt like she was doing an honorable thing. Like, okay, y'all betrothed me to the nigga's gay. Everybody in the fucking kingdom, y'all know the nigga gay. Okay, cool. Y'all made me marry the gay nigga. How in the fuck am I gonna produce an heir? And so for me, it's like, I think Rhaenyra's mindset was, okay, I'm having these kids by the same dude. I'm not out here like just trying to find I'm not out here looking for the strongest donor. I got shit.
I mean,
well,
technically,
maybe she did get the strongest donor.
Well,
my name ain't goddamn genetics. Shit.
So it's just my thinking is that at some point she just felt like either those kids were gonna look like her, or one of those kids was gonna look like her, or like, hey, y'all made me marry a dude that he ain't finna have no fucking children, so I gotta produce heirs somehow. Like, that's kind of, it's almost like duty came in effect for Rhaenyra, so she knew she had to have children.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like, and that's definitely a part of it. But I just feel like when you marry someone of that importance, right, and that family of that importance, just like, you know, the richest family in the fucking kingdom, like we've talked about before, people who you already have this shared bloodline with, people who have heritage from old Valyria. There's, you know, man, like you got to do better. I just feel like you got to fucking do better. Even if it means you got to slip in Corliss's bed one night and goddamn see what you can do with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, there has to be some sort of Valyrian, or even if it's fucking Vhagar. You know, Vhagar would have took one for a team.
You know, hey, Vhagar would have
fucking said, you know what? I got you, baby.
Maybe the maester would have
went up for Uncle Patty.
Maybe the maester would have came through real quick.
Man.
Bro, ginger ale and dick. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's saving everybody around him, motherfucker.
Like, motherfucker boy would have laid it down. Baby would have laid it down. His conniving ass. And then on top of that, he would have been like fucking Mar. That's my baby.
Hey, look, man. I swear, man. I thought Maester Orwell was gonna get killed every goddamn time he was on the screen, man.
Ooh, yeah.
I feel for that nigga like just for being in Westeros, man.
His facial features, man. I don't know who that actor's name is. His facial features was like, these motherfuckers are crazy. I'm the only one who's looking at this shit right now. Like, everybody,
I feel like
insane.
I feel like Orwell got stuck with them crazy ass white people. He don't know how to get about it.
Look, he would look at. I'm telling you, man. Every time he was around, he was like, man, just don't kill me, goddamn it. Just nigga, let me make ginger ale and do what the fuck I do.
I was just gonna say, man, Orwell say it ain't enough ginger ale in the world can save me from these white folks.
So, yeah, man. I think Rhaenyra definitely did some fucking up with that, and it obviously led to a lot of people dying in that episode. You know,
because the fact that Slewfoot just took it and ran with it. I mean,
that's right.
You know, Alicent complained about how she doesn't have any allies at court, and Slewfoot was like, "Oh, cool, bet, I got you." You know, so you're telling me to kill my father and brother? And Alicent was like, "Hold on, nigga, I ain't the one." Did I? You know,
I didn't even say that.
I didn't even say that.
And look, hey, and when shit was said and done, nigga, fucking Skeet Feet came back like, you said you want me to do that shit.
You said you want me to do it, right? So you owe me,
nigga. No,
right?
No, nigga.
No, wait a minute.
We had no idea what the fuck owed mean back then, boy. Little did we know how much she owed. You know what I'm saying? Right. And how she was gonna have to. How she was gonna have to pay for that shit. But yeah, so he killed his brother and his daddy for Alicent's favor. And in that same episode, we saw another death by fire when you know, Laena died a dragon rider's death in the form of, you know, by her own volition, having Vhagar to
light up.
Yeah, light up. And Vhagar didn't even want to do the shit.
Yeah, she had more fucking control over Vhagar than Aemma.
I just read Leslie's name. on this motherfucker.
I
shout out to
off guard earlier too.
Shout out to Jackson State and Southern Baton Rouge for college game day this weekend. ESPN.
No, shout out to Jackson State. I don't know about
Jackson State.
This what the hell does Southern do?
This nigga's name is Southern got ate by Vhagar.
I'm sorry, bro.
Oh shit! Yeah,
I had to fucking do it.
That shit funny, nigga. I had to say that real quick. But yeah, so Lena in another traumatic birth experience that we witnessed, as she was giving birth to her and Daemon's third child. She's not gonna survive the birth, and at some point she takes it upon herself to she chooses rather to die her own way than in the painful way that she was about to. And do y'all want to touch on that at all?
I think they just wanted to add some dramatic flair to that shit, because in the book she just died in labor. She didn't go out and fucking die by dragonfire. Like, she literally just died, trying to have the child. I think she actually birthed the child, but the child was either stillborn or died, hours after. It was a similar story to Aemma, and I think they kind of did the same thing with that one. They made it. I think they intentionally took those scenes from the book that were already gruesome and dramatic and made them even more gruesome and dramatic for television purposes. But it just helps to speak to, like, we saw a lot of fucked up childbirth on this goddamn show. Like, that was 2 in one episode. You had the beginning with Rhaenyra, and then you had the end with Lena.
Yeah. Also, it just goes to show you the connection between the dragon riders and the dragon.
Right.
Vhagar being hesitant about burning that motherfucker well done. Which is some like okay, SUBR. We see. Okay, Ashley
Finley.
Like, I ain't gonna say nothing since you and. Yeah, no. So, but I do remember that. I believe wasn't she trying to get to Vhagar in the books, but she ended up just dying when she was trying to run to her.
That part, don't fucking give me the line, because I don't remember. I'm gonna go back and read Fire and Blood over again now that the show is over, and see how much I can go back and connect. But
I think she captured, well, not captured, but she claimed Vhagar when she was a lot younger, actually, right? Than what she does in the show.
You remember in the episode when her and Viserys were talking, she was asking about Vhagar.
Specifically about Vhagar.
Yeah, asking about Vhagar. And so that was a lot of foreshadowing. And I was kind of, at first, I really wanted to see her capture Vhagar. I kind of wanted to see that moment, but I get why they did it, because the next episode we see Aemon do it. And so we kind of, so it's kind of redundant to see that happen twice.
Right.
I think, for like, as us being Black watchers of the show, I think it would be dope. I will say that there were instances in the show where actually seeing the Black characters playing a role in advancing the causes really did matter to me. Seeing Laenor ride sea smoke meant something to me. So if I would have got the opportunity to see, because we never seen a dragon. I mean, up until Aemon claims Vhagar, we've never seen a dragon claimed before. And so it would have been kind of cool to witness a little Black girl claim a dragon from our perspective. Well, I understand from the timeline's perspective why they had to jump forward based on making sense of this whole, especially all these years that they were trying to cover, for sure. I want to tap in. I want to take y'all to next spot we're gonna go to is, since we already there, let's talk about the claiming of Vhagar. The Aemon becomes Aemon, and the shit show that was Driftmark. I think Leslie called it the Medea episode. So
starting from the beginning.
Tyler Perry directed this episode.
Like, how Damon gonna laugh at the fume?
Because Uncle Patty was being Patty.
I was about to say, because it was a fucking Vamon's ass. Vayman was fucking saying,
talking about how pure the blood was.
How pure the blood was, exactly.
And Damon and Damon had petty too, because he looked at them strong boys.
Yep. I mean, shit.
Yeah, he said Valyrian blood. Vayman specifically said Valyrian blood is strong.
Yeah.
And that nigga Damon is,
nigga cackle.
He ignorant. So he looked at them little motherfuckers and said, "Show live."
Man, they strong for the motherfuckers.
Show live. And so, yeah, that's kind of how it went down. But yeah, like take us back to Driftmark real quick, y'all, and let's cover that.
The motherfucking fume. We still don't know who got the body.
We still don't know who got the body.
It was the ocean, I think.
back in the goddamn water.
The Seven Sisters. Well, no, the Seven Sisters.
I was gonna say the narrow sea, but
yeah, they did dump old Lane in the water though. Shit,
yeah,
what was left of
her?
What was left of her?
and Vhagar's fire burns hot.
Before she settled at the bottom of the ocean, Rhaenyra was down there fucking Damon.
I think though, when we get to Driftmark and their funeral, though, we see a lot of side eyes, a lot of eye contact, a lot of people either playing catch up or just doing their own little plotting and scheming. Literally during the fucking funeral, you got Rhaenyra that come out. She immediately locks eyes with Daemon, but then she tries to act like she's not there for Daemon. She immediately goes over to her children. You got Corlys talking to Luke. Telling the younger version of Viserys that, Driftmark is going to be his. You got Viserys basically pulling a Jon Snow saying he want that shit. But again, I'm going to speed the fuck up because my favorite moment, again, the pivotal moment was, of course, Aemon stealing or claiming Vhagar, which, again, was another one of those moments that they slightly tweaked from the book. But I think they did it for the better. Well, maybe not for the better, but they did it for dramatic purposes of the show. I kind of like how it was dope how they incorporated the fact that Rhaenyra's daughter, was planning, or she wanted to claim Vhagar, but she didn't move quick enough. And Aemon was like, "Shit, it's a fucking dragon. This ain't a goddamn Volvo. You don't have to go out to the goddamn dealership. If you wanted that dragon, you should have claimed it. And now I have, and we all know dragons only bond with one rider." And I think we see some of that as Aemon is trying to claim Vhagar. Vhagar's like, "Little nigga, what the fuck you doing?" She kind of wake up at first, shoo him on his way. He reaches back for the ropes to climb up on her again. And that's when she was about to blow that hot fire on his ass. And he hit her with that high Valyrian. She was like, "Okay, you might be one of them folks that I fuck with." And for whatever reason, she allowed Aemon to climb up. And after that, the shit was history. But that shit is just... The significance of that in the scope of the war, the Civil War, the Dance of the Dragons, just the events that are going to follow, everything, that shit was probably the most significant scene that we saw all season.
Yeah,
because there's so much more that comes from this little nigga having Vhagar. Like so much fucking more.
And Otto called it out. Otto said that little nutty nigga got Vhagar. And
yep.
I can't believe he did it. Right? It's almost like,
but I'm glad the little nigga with us.
I'm glad he with us.
Yeah.
I'm glad a little crazy motherfucker with us. Because goddamn, that really shifted the tides of the whole, like, how we look at this battle. I mean, like, if this were spades, if this were a spades table, nigga, I mean, like, they got some possibles now.
Fact.
Yeah, they definitely got the big joke.
The scope of the book, you didn't have Baela and Rhaena wasn't a part of that. So in the book, when this scene took place, you have Aemon going down, and it was actually Joffrey. It was the youngest son of Rhaenyra that caught Aemon when he was trying to steal Vhagar, and he basically tells him to get away from Vhagar. She doesn't belong to you. And Aemon pushed him in a pile of dragon shit. And I really wanted to see. I knew it wasn't gonna be Joffrey in the show because he was too young, but I really wanted to see somebody get pushed in a pile of dragon shit.
Golly, man.
So in the book, Aemon pushed the little nigga in a pile of dragon shit. He grabs Vhagar, he flies off, and then by the time he returns, Joffrey is gone and ran and gotten Luke and Viserys. Aemon calls them Strongs. At that point in time, Viserys is the only one old enough to really understand what that means, and so that's when the fight breaks out. and that's when Luke ends up cutting Aemon's eye. So that's the subtle differences there, where it was just the strong boys in the book versus the strong boys and goddamn
Ray bought Jesus.
This nigga West M said Ray bought Damon a plate of that Target.
Fresh, hot and steaming.
Oh my God.
Hot and ready.
Yeah. I mean, so initially
5 minutes hot and ready.
Initially, I was rooting for Aemon or Aemon, just from the standpoint of I knew he was kind of the underdog, and you know, I think George R. Martin does a real good job of, you know, allowing the underdogs to win sometimes. Like if you see them in the book, you know that they are going to at some point play a significant role.
I don't know, man. Sometimes George be like, "Fuck the underdog. He'll kill them niggas out real quick."
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's like certain types of underdogs.
Like that goddamn Rob Stark, the way that nigga died, it was just
yeah. But like Jon Snow was an underdog to me. You know, like I mean, until we learned why he really wasn't an underdog. But you know, like this motherfucker is the true heir and shit. But you know, before that, he was the underdog in my mind. But you got Aemon getting fucked with by, you know, they give him a pig and shit like that, and so you know, you want good for the little motherfucker, but you also know he gonna grow up to be a serial killer, and so that's the scary part. But you know, like they fucking with him in a way that leads you to believe, like, yeah, this little nigga is gonna be dangerous at some point, and so you know, he captures Vhagar. You go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm actually surprised that after he got Vhagar that he didn't kill Aegon or have him poisoned or whatever, you know, things could have happened to Aegon so that Aemon would have been the heir apparent through Viserys' second line. So maybe he didn't want it. Maybe he liked having, you know, the big dragon. He didn't want the crown with it. Okay, you one for one. Okay, you want one. You got what you wanted. You don't need the other one. So
I felt like that for episode 8. That like something was gonna happen because he was really gonna be. He wanted the throne. So I definitely agree with you on that.
He wanted the throne, and he wanted his eye back, or at least someone else's eye.
He wanted it back.
Right. Like, yeah. But I still to this, like, I think Aemon plays too motherfucking much. And that's why a lot of the things that happened to him or that he caused to happen. It was because he was doing things that he shouldn't have been doing. And he lost control of the situation. But
here's the thing about me. Like, I fuck with Aemon for 2 reasons. For one, he's a reckless discipline, right? Which means that he's disciplined enough to where he doesn't take it that next step as if, you know, like we were just talking about, like killing Aegon, because he knows his ultimate duty, right? He knows what he's about. He's disciplined enough to where he's been training his entire life for this battle that's about to happen. He's one of the few motherfuckers who's been like really trying to practice and hone in on his skills. He knew about the importance of grabbing somebody as something as vital as Vhagar, because he sees dragons as a weapon, which they ultimately are. But you know, also, you know, most of the time when motherfuckers get bullied, they don't become superheroes. Like it ain't like they become Batman. Most motherfuckers are like, you know what? Fuck y'all. Like, okay, I'm the bigger kid now, right? Now I'm about to bully somebody else. And so, you know, to a certain point, that's real. And like I keep saying again and again, if I had Vhagar, I'll be walking around with my dick out too. It's gonna do. Right. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do to me?
Vhagar just sitting outside.
It's like don't be a Mr. South Central out drinking juice in the hood when Marlon Wayans pulled out that nuke out the fucking goddamn. We have a problem. Like,
oh God.
Real shit. I mean, and Vhagar just be sitting out there, man. So yeah, that was definitely one of the moments for me. And then obviously that was the first time blood was drawn between essentially Rhaenyra and Alicent. Not essentially, but literally, as a result of how they felt about their kids and what they were willing to do for their kids. And so we knew Alicent was willing to make Rhaenyra bleed for her kids at that point. We knew that. And so let's take it, because we're getting close to the next episode, which is I would say we talked about Vaemon wanting to claim his brother's property in Driftmark when we thought that Corlys had died or possibly was dying at the step.
He didn't try to bury the nigga, man. He didn't try to plan the fume. Nigga said, fuck the fume. I want your house, cuz. Let me get that up out you.
And Rhaenys wasn't having it.
Rhaenys wasn't having that shit. Rhaenyra wasn't having that shit. Viserys wasn't having that shit. And motherfucking Daemon wasn't having that shit.
So that when you brought up Viserys, obviously in that episode, and it's a lot of walk-ups that when y'all pointed it out tonight, I was like, there are a lot of moments, like grand entrances. And so probably this is the most grand of all of those entrances is Viserys's walk into the room when all is occurring, and Rhaenyra basically comes to his bedside and says, Dad, I need you right now more than I ever need you, because they're about to question the legitimacy of my kids to the kingdom. Right. Your grandkids. I need you now. And at this point, Viserys is basically right, like that nigga is literally leaning on the everlasting arm. I mean, God. Jesus, you ever read footprints? Why is there only one set of footprints here? It's because I was carrying you, my son. Nigga, he was carrying Viserys to the throne.
Facts.
That nigga's in hospice premium select.
Right. And so talk to me about that entire, like, y'all take me through that moment, man. The whole leading up to the scene, and when you get to Vaemon, excuse me.
Go ahead, Warrior.
So when Rhaenyra arrives at the beginning of that episode, and again, there's nobody out there to greet her. The Princess Royale, the heir apparent, there's nobody out there but the regular guards. And then Lord Caswell, who has been on her side the whole time, comes out and, escorts her in and everything. She goes to her father, introduces the two babies that she has had in the past 6 years, Aegon III and Viserys II. And then, they start smelling the cup, and, it's all, the poppy juice is in there, and, so he's like, I need my cup, and then he's all moldy and mildewed and one-eyed and up to his shoulder, like toe up from the floor up,
right,
and ain't got no hair. They call him yuck mouth because he don't brush. I mean, I could go on, but and she makes him know that I need you right now, and he stops drinking the milk of the poppy, when they clean his wounds, and so he's ready to go in to the throne by that afternoon, and he's like, I want dinner with the family tonight, and Otto's like, well, it's just morning, sire. He's like, tonight. He starts, letting them know, I want it now. I'm the king. This is what I said. I said what I said. And then he shows up in the throne room, and he drags his carcass all the way. All the way. you know, and then Damon helps him up the rest of the way on the stairs. And I thought that
which was
also
very
touching.
really good. Yeah. Exactly.
One of my favorite moments in that scene, like that whole I don't know whether to call it a council meeting or whatever, was great. But the first moment in there that made me kind of chuckle was when they bust open the doors and they're like, the king is here. And everybody looking around like, did you know that nigga was coming? I didn't know that nigga was coming. Like, looking around at each other like, oh shit.
Damon was ready to go. Damon was like, shit, I'm about to go back to the fuck up out of here.
To me, everybody kind of looking around like, oh hell. Like my plan is out the window. So that was
and then Rhaenys quickly flips to Rhaenyra. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay.
That nigga Otto was sitting in the chair when he got there. Like,
yeah.
Let me give
feeling himself. That nigga Otto was feeling
said, unask my feet, bro.
Right, I was keeping it warm for you. Like, get that off. Yeah, we clean it up for you. Yeah, that motherfucker Otto was slick. And so Daemon, I don't know if it was the state of the king or he just didn't give a damn fuck no more. That led him to be even more audacious than his brother in talking his shit. Like, cause his brother talked cash money shit before to the king.
Yeah.
But Vaemon is not his brother. And he was, he called Rhaenyra a hoe. He called her sons bastards. He said the shit in front of everybody. And so what, do you think that he was just ready to die at that point? Or what? What was that about?
I guess he was he didn't think nobody was gonna punk him down. He thought that the Greens were gonna back him up and back his claim. And they were like, oh, excuse me.
And I don't know why he, out of all the people he thought was bitch made in that hall at that point, why like nigga, Damon sat there and looked at you in your eyes, nigga, and said,
say it.
And so you already knew what that action was about. Like you was out there on that battlefield.
Right.
Not hoe.
Right.
Yeah.
That nigga really said that shit with his chest. That nigga made whore a multi-syllable word.
So like I think some of that was him thinking like, the king is fucked up, he can't do, but it's like, nigga, the king brother right there. Damon still fuck with his brother, right? And you talking about Damon's wife, so man, bro, the cut was so motherfucking clean though. Like, nigga, I ain't never seen I done played Fruit Ninja and all kind of shit. I ain't never seen a fucking that shit.
Damon gave that nigga 3/5 compromise, goddammit.
Man.
3/5 compromise. That nigga said, I'm gonna cut off about 3/5 of your motherfucking head, goddammit.
Oh my God.
And told the bitch ass nigga to keep his tongue.
Man, I'll talk about it. Let that nigga keep his
fucking compromise. I mean,
I don't think because y'all continuously call my boy bitch ass and talked about him bad, but I stick by. Ain't nobody fixed to let it go down. I am a black man. I am one of the richest black men in this whole situation. And you think you're gonna bring these little white bastards in here to take my shit? It's not happening, bro.
Oh yeah, no.
I think he just had enough, and he was gonna say his piece. And if that cost him his life, oh well.
And I feel that shit, but also the nigga didn't do nothing. Like, he got an A on the group project for being there. Corliss did all this shit.
Yeah,
Corliss did all the shit. All the shit that fucking the Valarians were famous for, had money for, like, because they wasn't shit until Corliss went out on them fucking 9 voyages and made a way for their ass.
They just call that motherfucker Tito Jackson.
Man, Tito ain't do a bitch ass thing.
Oh, God.
That nigga was just there.
But you know what though? It's also this was also Viserys' like strongest moment. Up until this point, as much as I like Viserys as a human being, this nigga was fucking pretty weak king, right?
Yeah.
And so like this was up to this point, this was his proudest moment. Yeah. And even then, even after he called his proud daughter and heir a whore, he was just talking about cutting off his fucking tongue. Like, fuck that, bro. Like, I'm torturing this. I'm cutting off. I'm starting with this nigga fingernails, fucking toenails, goddamn nose. I'm cutting off every fucking thing. You call my daughter that shit, and I'm in a position of absolute power if I'm king. And so, you know, and so for even Viserys to still not stay off with his head, he peeled his muffin cap back blue. Right, he did. And,
that was the definition.
I'm telling you, fucking 3/5 compromise, man. Y'all look that shit up. But I mean, you know, but for him to still just say off with his tongue, bro, Damien's like tongue. Okay, yeah, you keep that shit. Yeah, right. Because even then he should have been like, nah, this nigga needs to put his head on the spike. You know, that's one of the kind of things about Viserys. As much as we liked him, especially at the end there. He is one of the central reasons why these two factions are going to war, because of shit like that, right? Yeah. Because of the fact that people felt like that they can say shit like that in his fucking throne,
in his presence,
in his presence, right? From Alicent talking shit to him the whole time, Otto clearly scheming behind his back the entire time, which he fucking knew, to bringing Otto back because Alicent wanted him to,
right?
Makes no sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, I would say between Otto's plotting and Viserys's placating, those were the things that truly set up a war was going to come.
Right.
Like those are the things. Like Otto said that he was doing the shit he was doing to prevent a war, but you know, it was always going to require bloodshed, regardless of what he said out loud. Like it was going to require
they're getting your hands dirty,
to end Rhaenyra and her kids or something or somebody. He was going to have to cut up all the loose ends with the shit he was trying to do anyway. I'm gonna
nigga should have took a page out of this just Jaehaerys book, man. He should have had a council or something for that shit.
I'm gonna take it to episode 9 now, y'all. Cause we know that Viserys kicked the bucket in episode 8. After all that shit went down. I mean,
motherfucking bucket kicked him.
Right. You know what I mean? That nigga took off that mask at dinner. You know what I'm saying? After everybody ate good or didn't eat good. And you know, shit went down at the dinner table with Aemon calling them boys strong.
Calling boys strong as fuck.
You know, when
but that was only until the pig was brought out.
Right.
When Luke little ass was sitting there laughing like,
you know, y'all stop leaving that shit out when it comes to my boy. Right, exactly. Them niggas were laughing about the shit. And then when Aemon stood his ass up ready for that smoke, the motherfucker stopped laughing.
Right. You know, shit wasn't funny no fucking more.
Pulled his dick. Like, I got Vhagar and I what? I got hands
like,
and
bro,
Vhagar.
Like the audacity, like Aemon really stood up like, little nigga, the audacity of you to still even be fucking laughing. First of all, you a little punk ass bitch. That's how he stood up, nigga. Like, you little punk ass bitch.
That eye socket at dinner took me out looking like the corpse bride.
Me too. It was too much. It was too much. Like, why would you do that to us while we're eating? Don't do that.
Right.
So you got Aemon at the table. It's like, man, you got two niggas at the table with two eyes between the two of them.
Right, motherfuckers doing this shit,
right? In the words of a Goofy movie, they were seeing things eye to eye. So you know, it's all good.
Damn.
But bum. You know what I'm saying? So, the blackest movie ever.
Atlanta episode.
Hell yeah, that was a good ass episode. We all be to get off on a tangent.
Father like son.
Facts.
So
that's funny.
One eye goddamn Targaryens.
So Viserys kicks the bucket, y'all, and now shit's going to hell. All of the highborn people are being rounded up and told to be in the motherfucking knee. Alicent tells everybody that Aegon is supposed to be king because that's what Viserys told her on the deathbed. And they lock Auntie Niecy up in her room, and she knows some shit is going down. So let's go through this. Let's hit that episode real quick. Let's hit the high point on that episode. Let me know what was your moment about that episode, and let's go through that.
Honestly, I think that episode was more about Otto than any fucking body. Like, it was really a moment for Otto to flex his prowess, if you will, for like the scheming that motherfucker had been doing for the better part of 2 fucking decades. Yep. That nigga was so like I spoke on it on the recap show after we did episode 9. Like, the nigga was so proud of himself. The shit just made me sick. Like, just every scene watching him with his head in the air and his chest all high and him making announcements and all. Nigga, Aegon, nigga, we coming through with the shits, bitch. We got this shit on dubs, nigga. What's happening? Like, he just talking big cash money shit. You know what I was like? I just ain't like that shit because I didn't like seeing Otto in a moment where he felt victorious.
Yeah, that nigga definitely was walking around with his chest out at that moment.
Oh man, he was feeling himself, dog. I ain't like that shit.
But he was on that anyway, though. Like, you know, we know that he was already
making. He was gonna do that anyway.
Right, they was gonna do that.
You ain't got to. Viserys said, "What? Oh, that's crazy."
Thanks, good job. Now let's sit down and get back to business.
Right, exactly. Now sit down and shut the fuck up. Shit.
Right.
So within seconds of this treason or this, you know, this coup getting ready to take place, the first death occurs. Like, they literally X one of the maesters out of the game.
Really to a real nigga.
Right.
Oh yeah, Beastberry.
Beastberry went out like a G cuz.
Beastberry.
So
Beastberry went out standing on. He went out standing on the shit Viserys died on. Viserys died on that shit about Rhaenyra, and goddamn Beastberry did too.
Yeah. So we knew at that moment that they was ready to take lives. Period. Like, as soon as the shit started going down, they was ready to kill for if you didn't pick a side. And so now they telling people to pick motherfucking sides. And Rhaenys is approached by Alicent in the chamber that she was locked in about picking a side. Talk to me about that.
Told her ass to ring the bell when she was ready. She rang the fucking bell, all right.
Right. Exactly. Well, like, but she called Alicent out on her shit. She was just like, "Yo, you're doing the bidding of these men around you." Like, I keep calling you 53% Trump. But she's also calling out and saying, like, you know what, me and you are not the same. Like, I'm not you, you not me. I if I'm in your position, I'm at least thinking about how I would look on that Iron Throne. You don't, because you're so fucking enveloped in trying to do the bidding of everybody else and these fucking stupid ass people around you, all men who are basically using you as a fucking puppet. And you're dumb for even for even thinking that you have this sort of, because you have this proximity to power, therefore you have power. Bitch, you have nothing. You have nothing. It's an illusion. It's all an illusion. That shit that you were doing with Viserys while he was king, that shit is fucking just an illusion. And now that he's done, you're fucking done. And you're fucking really, and you're not really that much a necessity to the fucking real players in this game now. You know, so get the fuck out of my goddamn face. And that's why we love her, right? That's why we fucking love Rhaenys. Even though, with that said, she should have been a dragon to burn these motherfuckers down. But I mean, you know.
Right. So
whatever, right? Yeah. You know, you say you talk all that shit and then you don't fucking deliver when you got fucking when you got the opportunity.
It wasn't my war.
Smart.
When you got the opportunity to be Elizabeth Warren, you fucking don't do it. Like, I understand. You got a chance to
cancel all the student loans.
Do it, bitch.
She could have canceled. She could have canceled all them motherfuckers.
Cancel all.
She could have canceled all them motherfuckers, man.
But, and to go along with what Leslie was saying earlier in the episode, when they were in the council chambers right after Viserys died, and Alicent is saying the king is dead. We need to do this, and Otto starts talking, and then Tyland starts talking about well, my Lord Hand, is this what are we ready to put the plan in place?
We're ready to proceed?
And she's like, what are you talking about? Y'all been planning behind my back about my children? And I'm like, yeah, you just ain't got the first clue. You can't even rent it. So
damn.
Yeah. So doing the bidding doing the bidding of men. Don't know how much of a big ass puppet you are. Hand up your I would say hand up your ass, but you got that foot thing going on. So a la cunt, a la feet.
Yeah. So in that episode, as Aegon is preparing to be named king after they had to go find his ass.
After they had to go find him.
Because the white worm had his ass and wanted to let him know that the streets was watching, and that the streets was plugged. So when they finally get his ass back, and he don't believe that he's supposed to be the king either, but he's still going through with the shit. At this point, Auntie Nisi is trying to plot her escape. They done killed a few more highborn people after they either failed to bend the knee or bent the knee, but was trying to get the fuck up out of there so that they could,
R.I.P. Lord Caswell.
Run till that, So they was trying to do that shit, and Auntie Nisi was being escorted by, was it Eric or Eric?
Eric.
By Eric.
Eric with an E.
He was taking her to the Blackwater, right? Well,
yeah, he was trying to. He was trying to get her to Blackwater Bay just to escape by boat. But she was like, "Nigga, I got a dragon. You get on the fucking boat, nigga. I got a dragon.
I need my dragon, goddammit.
And
you
suddenly,
get on the boat. I meet you over there, nigga. Get on the boat."
So suddenly,
I see you there.
So suddenly, everybody in the kingdom, from the folks at Flea Bottom to all types, are beginning to flood the streets because they're being called to a place. Take me through that moment. Take me through what you remember about that, and let's just kind of get into that real quick.
Yeah, so they coming down through the city. All of that again was a part of Otto's bitch ass plan to get Aegon, announced as king in front of as many fucking people as possible, just to make it look more legitimate. Along with, of course, the other symbols and signs. He had the crown of Aegon the Conqueror. He had the sword of Aegon the Conqueror. He has the name of Aegon the Conqueror. So all this shit is set in motion to, in effect, put Aegon on the throne. So you see all these people coming out of the city for the announcement. And that's when you see, of course, Eric and Rhaenys get split up in the shuffle of everything. You kind of see Rhaenys taking a peek at the dragon pit, so she already know what she want to do. Like, when you see Rhaenys looking up at that fucking hill, you already know what's on her mind. It's just a matter of, is it going to happen or not? And obviously, we saw that shit fucking happen.
And Samantha just pointed out saying that the coronation was nice, and I agree with her. That shit was pristine. But I think that, to your point, Carlton, is that one of the reasons why it was so pristine and so nice, because Otto was planning that shit from the get-go.
Forever.
They have been planning this shit to be as legit looking and to be as fucking and to be as official as possible, right? Because it's not only for just the people, just the brokies that fucking Flea Bottom, but also the bannermen, the people who are like the important families got them kids slap boxing.
Man, y'all so
right,
goddamn
but I mean,
funny.
but all that shit was on purpose. And just going back real quick, just for a second, right? I just got a shout out to. I just hope that White weren't one of the twin niggas. Yeah, I saw that shit. I just got a shout out White Worm's accent. I hope that motherfucker died. Not her, but the accent died in that goddamn fire, bro.
You just hope she got a little smoke damage.
Something, bro. Smoke damage. Get rid of that goddamn accent, because that shit was fucking. Because that shit is fucking horrible and disgusting.
That's the worst shit on the show.
They have no business fucking doing that damn French fusion.
It was the worst shit on the
show. Yeah, that was really bad.
They had no business doing that shit. Another thing is that she actually predicted that Otto might kill or try to kill in episode 2. If y'all remember her talking to Daemon, Daemon told Otto that she was pregnant. She went up to Daemon and was like, nigga, like, don't tell these motherfuckers that shit. They'll kill my whole ass.
Right.
I'm a whore.
Fuck about me.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and so for that shit to kind of, come full circle, I thought that was pretty interesting. Even though, whether or not she's dead or not, that's one thing. But that fucking accent needs to goddamn go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit needs to go.
You didn't like the power.
Right.
My part of the coronation, the part that struck me before, my favorite part, of course, was Auntie Niecy's pull-up game. But the thing that Aegon did not even want the throne. This fool was running from the throne.
Literally.
Even up until, his mama telling him, your pappy said you're supposed to be on the throne. He still didn't want to hear that mess. But the minute he got up there in front of them people and they started, chanting and saying his name, now he holding up swords. I'm like,
yeah,
right.
Now that was a Trump kind of moment. I was like, ugh. Yes,
it goes to show how easily and how quickly power can corrupt, because he didn't even want the position. Now all of a sudden you act like this was yours all along and you knew it. Boy, sit down. Have several seats.
Right. And that nigga Aemon was over there looking at it. Like,
right.
That should be me. While his wife was looking at it like it shouldn't be fucking Aegon.
Listen, the wife looking at it like it shouldn't be none of y'all niggas.
Right. I know what's about to happen in this month.
Elena, all y'all motherfuckers are crazier than me, and I'm fucking crazy.
Right. Next thing you know, the motherfucker.
Helena said they think I'm the crazy one.
They think I'm the crazy.
Motherfuckers are crazy.
Right. She really the sanest one of them motherfuckers. She was space cadet, but
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? She really.
She funny to me though, because the way she be spitting them visions out, that shit it give me Tourette's vibes. That shit is funny.
And that shit be so random too.
Don't nobody be listening to her ass.
Not a one. They do not be listening.
Allison went in there to tell that girl her daddy was dead. Helena ass said, "Be well be for these boys, bitch."
That's what you need to do.
Allison was like, "Bitch."
Allison was like, "These goddamn kids." Woo, Lord.
But look though, she was telling her right though. I
got fucking Aegon jacking off from a fucking window. I got goddamn Armin ass fucking
right. A serial killer
little crazy motherfucker.
Right.
Some beasts beneath the boards and shit.
And we ain't even seen the one normal fucking kid she got, Darren.
Right. Exactly. Right. He's over there in fucking
we didn't even see this nigga.
Old Town. This shit. Doing God knows what.
But Auntie Niecy, she figures out a way. Because the people really didn't even give a fuck about Aegon at first, Like, they were not excited. They probably was like,
the nigga was like, "Oh, okay, shit."
Yeah,
shit like Prince Charles.
Right. I'm telling you, it was like, hey, coming to the stage.
Okay.
Tito Jackson.
Play so fine, don't you agree?
Right, coming to the Randy Watson.
I believe the children are all right.
That boy good. He good.
Good and terrible.
Good and terrible.
So Auntie Niecy finds this as a moment to like creep off and everything, and then she pulls up as Celestial says on Melis.
Ambitious.
And literally she has the opportunity to end this shit before it starts.
Yeah.
And she does.
She should have took a Tywin Lannister philosophy on that shit.
Yep.
It's better to kill a few motherfuckers at a coronation than 1,000 goddamn at a war.
Yep. 1,000 on battlefield.
She should have ate them motherfuckers alive, goddamn it. Fuck that. Series over, goddamn it. New show, y'all.
Which is the segue.
New show next year.
Which is honestly the segue to episode 10. And when she says that exact same thing to Daemon, Daemon is like, "Bitch, what?
Right.
What are you talking about right now? You screamed at him? Is that what the fuck you is this what you tell? You flew all the way over here just to tell us that you're fucking, that Viserys is dead, motherfuckers the crown new king. I broke out, I just screamed at the niggas, and I flew away. Something's missing."
Did you pinch them motherfuckers?
You blew some dragon breath at the motherfuckers. Everybody stink already. It don't fucking matter. Shit, it's fucking medieval. Everybody stink. They smell like the fucking brokers and Flea Bottom because the brokers and Flea Bottom all around.
Listen, Auntie Nisi said, "Well, listen, your wife is the queen. It ain't, they surpassed me to put Viserys on the throne. This ain't my fight. I'll back y'all up, but I'm not starting this shit."
Right.
And I'm with Auntie Nisi.
Yeah.
Come on now, don't come on now. You would have been pissed off too if you were in there.
Auntie Nisi said, "No, y'all had a chance to give me."
Your auntie would have told you that shit. You would have been like, "Wait a minute."
So you didn't cook them niggas?
Allison thought it was over for real. You know what I'm saying?
She had accepted death, nigga. She took that last breath and closed her eyes.
Right.
Her bitch ass son Aegon was behind her hiding like nigga. You got a whole motherfucking dragon, nigga. You are a Targaryen dragon rider.
Facts.
And you behind your mama.
You behind your mama. One of the fucking most beautiful dragons in the goddamn.
He ain't fireproof.
He is not fireproof.
They about to test their fireproofness. You ain't lying.
Right.
Nigga,
So
I promise you the nigga ain't fireproof.
you sir are no fucking Daenerys Targaryen.
Listen to me when I tell you the nigga ain't fireproof.
So listen.
And we know this.
So that being the case, you know what I mean? He was scared. They was all scared. And Nisi gets back to Dragonstone. She lets them know, like, look, girl, your daddy dead. They done motherfucker tried to kill me or to lock me up. They done made everybody be in the motherfucking knee. And every time she says Aegon has been crowned, then Rhaenyra has another contraction. Suddenly she goes into premature childbirth. She loses his baby as stillborn. This is one of her and Daemon's children. And suddenly Daemon is strategizing for war. And even while she's still bleeding from this shit, Otto and them pull up again to the bridge at Dragonstone. Talk to me.
Now, speak on something real quick, because I don't think we mentioned it even in last week's recap after the episode. The connection, we talk a little bit, about the connections between dragons and riders. When she's having labor and she's screaming, and they give you the cut scenes between Rhaenyra and Syrax. We didn't speak. To me, that was deep though, because again, it was just another way that they showed you that tether or that bond between dragon and rider. Like Syrax knew Rhaenyra was in some kind of pain, some kind of misery, and she was going through that shit with her. I thought that shit was pretty deep. You know what I'm saying? Like them showing how that bond was that deep. God fucking damn it. Bruh, Samantha been wild.
Oh, shit.
Jesus Christ.
Samantha said she ain't bathed the whole episode.
I did think about that. I was like,
oh, I have mercy.
They all smell like fucking dragon shit.
Man, that's what I was thinking about earlier. I was like, I know that dragon shit smells crazy, boy. It's everywhere. They got 17 dragons.
She gave birth to an entire baby.
Oh, God.
And she went straight to the fucking funeral. She ain't bathed. She just stopped.
Somebody earlier was talking about laying no ass in that ocean, and Carla talking about, go get that goddamn boy. That shit was funny. That shit. Oh my God.
Get his ass out of the damn water. I damn embarrassing us.
Get that boy out of that water.
Rule number 1 of the Black family: do not embarrass the family. And Rhaenys did.
Okay,
shit.
Well,
my bad. I didn't mean to take that detour. But that shit was funny to me, man.
Man, get your punk ass out that damn water.
So,
also in the books, though, one of the interesting things is that Rhaenyra was basically cursing Alicent's name when she was trying to get that, when she was trying to poop that goddamn baby up out of, and that sort of plays to the Otto part when Otto kind of delivers this message about how Aegon's rightful heir and we're going to make these motherfuckers cupbearers and blah 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 blah. But and then she gives Rhaenyra the piece of fucking paper that she fucking torn out that book 20 years ago, as if a reminder to her and Alicent's friendship to let us know that friendship is still, there's some semblance of that friendship still there. Which is the exact opposite in the books. These motherfuckers hate each other like
from jump.
From jump in the books. There's no fucking.
There was an age difference in the book.
Yeah,
there was an age gap. They weren't the same age in the book.
It was an age gap. You're right.
Was Alicent after her daddy in the book, like from jump?
Yeah,
like, that was so. The shit happened the same way. Aemma died giving birth, and Alicent was much older, but she was a lady at court, obviously because of Otto Hightower. But it was the same dynamic. It just Alicent was older, and there was never any.
And Alicent was rumored to be sleeping with a bunch of motherfuckers in the book.
Exactly.
It ain't just some old, like, she was a whore. You know, she was a perceived whore, as my nigga Vaymon would say. So, she was
a whore.
Like even back to the old king before, like before Viserys, there was a rumor about them kind of having a fling. She was treating Viserys's room and shit, being kind of an assistant, as you will.
Lewinsky. Gotcha.
Lewinsky. Hey, you called her the fucking White House intern, huh?
She had some of that stuff on her green dress.
Okay, not like fucking Monica would tweet your ass.
She had some of that stuff on her green dress. All right.
Lewinsky, tweet your ass now.
I know. Come on, watch them Thrones, Monica.
Yeah, they're right. What did you say, CJ? I courted.
Exactly.
I court your attention.
I like that they did a callback to episode 2 again with the pull-up game. Otto basically pulls up on the bridge. Yeah. Daemon is there with his squad, and Otto's like, "But I ain't come talk to you though. Where's Rhaenyra?" So Rhaenyra pulls up. She does the same thing she did from the first time, walks through. Otto tried to punk her and was like, "Princess," and she's like, "Nah, bitch, queen." Like,
yeah,
got that crown on her head.
Right. She had the crown on. So I like that part that they kind of called back to that and had her walking in her power in that episode. So that was one of my favorite parts of that one.
And I mean the fucking caucasity of this nigga Otto, like. We talk about Auntie Niecy should have burned his ass up.
Bruh.
They could have took them niggas right there on the fucking bridge.
Walks in the army of the light, bro.
Just say, "Give me that pen back, nigga. You ain't know
that shit.
You don't deserve that shit.
Threw that shit off the fucking bridge. I thought she was finna take that shit and give it to like her own hand. She was like, "Fuck your pen."
She threw his pen.
But
this accelerated
light, bro.
This accelerated their strategic processes. Like they knew at this point, like Otto even said to them, these motherfuckers, the Baratheons, the Baratheons, the Tullys, and the Starks are all being made
offers.
Bruh. Mm-hmm. That's my thing, man. That was the another thing that the blacks, especially Rhaenyra, she is not a great politician when it comes to actual fucking deal making and relationships. And when they heard that, they should have automatically fucking assumed that something other than just a fucking just the promise 20 years ago was going to keep these houses in line. Right. Because of the fact that it's just like the politics of today, man. This show is so great because of the political machinations and the political strategies that you have to do. Bend the knee, Otto.
Y'all so funny.
The true crown at that. So I mean, like it's a quid pro quo relationship, man, with all this shit. And so, and this is what came back to bite somebody like Robb Stark in the ass, right? This is the same kind of shit. You don't keep promises, you don't make deals, and somebody else is going to. If somebody else is able to come by with just as good of a deal or a better deal than you have to be prepared for that shit. Otto told you that. He basically gave you the fucking playbook. Y'all started some shit. And you still sent your fucking 2 dumbass kids out there, including Luke, to fly in fucking Hurricane Katrina to go to Storm's End.
I have a question. I always have
Luke
a question.
Katrina, goddamn.
I have a question. So if Luke as a Targaryen. So when Bora said, "Are you here to marry one of my daughters?" and he said, "No, I'm already betrothed," he could have said, "Yes, I'm here," if he had been thinking, because the Targaryens marry more than one time.
Right. Even though that's not
his cousin,
even though it's I mean, it's outlawed now. They had a big struggle about that.
That shit ain't happened since Vhagar.
Exactly. That shit ain't happened since Vhagar. Vhagar tried that shit and he fucking in the goddamn high septon and all that shit.
Vhagar motherfucking ass married 3 bitches at one time. Like literally, the wedding had all 3 bitches.
He couldn't have no kids. And they couldn't father a single kid. That nigga was useless.
Rosalind said, Rhaenyra said, "Fuck your bitch and the click you claim. West side and we ride, coming quick with gang." Hey, listen, that's one of our favorites right there.
That's right. And that's why fucking Luke is in the goddamn swimming with
why didn't they just
with that fucking one mosquito wing that
why did they send the Ravens, bro? Why didn't last week why didn't they fucking send the Ravens?
Because it was supposed to be a symbol, it was supposed to be one, we'll get there faster on Dragonback than Ravens will. And then 2, it was supposed to be the symbol of, the Targaryens, the dragons, blah, blah, blah. Not so much a threat, but at the same time, like, I'm pulling up on some humble shit because we want you on our side. But at the same time, I got this dragon parked outside, nigga. So what's that?
Yeah. But when he get there, though, it's another dragon parked outside.
It's a real dragon. Dragon.
Yeah. The dragon is Vhagar. Like,
nigga, your dragon ain't a dragon no more.
So
your dragon is a flying horse, my nigga.
Right. That nigga's a fucking Vhagar's a fucking dinosaur, nigga. That nigga is like.
But the thing that we
you talking like fucking 747 Boeing versus goddamn a Cessna engine.
Right. And some people with a fucking Tesla engine. Right.
Some people question his heart. Question Luke's heart and stuff like that. But I mean, in that moment when he saw Vhagar, that at Storm's End, he knew who was there, right? And he kept going in. So knowing that and understanding that, like, he obviously had some heart. He obviously was pretty brave. Talk to me about that moment. Take me through the dragon chase and the things that led to it and the dragon chase.
I think it just meant a lot. I think it was a lot on him as far as his duty to not only his mother, but his mother as the queen, and him being, second in the line of succession to his older brother, first in the line of succession to Driftmark. So, he felt like he had a lot on his shoulders. So he did the noble thing, which is he went in and delivered his mother's message, as he was bid to do. So, I mean, he showed a lot of courage in that moment, even being, he was scared. Like, nigga looked up and saw fucking Vhagar. Like, nigga, I don't give a fuck who you are. You look up and see Vhagar, it's like, damn, nigga, Vhagar over there, God.
I would have turned my dragon right on around and said, "Mama, they went home.
Mama, we lost." Hey, I'd have went back and been like, "Your Grace, we lost Storm's End."
Yeah, it's gone.
I don't know. Hey, you said, mother, Your Grace, you said you wanted to know who your allies were. Storm's End is not one of them.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Do you want me to go visit fucking
I ain't gonna lie to you. Aemon would have never knew I was at that motherfucker.
Never
saw each other. I would have been gone.
When we go visit the Blackwoods, I can go do that shit. But
right.
I'm
gonna go to the other spot first.
They said they out. They said they ain't coming.
They said they
ain't coming. They said they ain't coming.
She'd have been, Rhaenyra would have been like, "Well, shit, Luke, what happened over there?" Man, my mama pulled up. Shit, Vhagar was there. Oh, son, say less, son. That's how that conversation would have went. Right. Honestly, if Rhaenyra had known, fucking obviously, if Rhaenyra had known fucking Aemon was there on Vhagar, she never would have sent him.
Yeah, she would never sent.
So I honestly feel like if he had left and came back and been like, "Hey, I pulled up and fucking Vhagar was there, so mama ain't even go inside," she wasn't gonna take the nigga head or no shit. Like, goddamn, Luke.
Do you think that's like, cause y'all are pointing out a couple of things about first being the queen or being the person that's actually making the decisions, and also being green as it relates to war. These are two things that, like, when she sent Luke there as a messenger, did she not comprehend the level of danger that came with even somebody?
She couldn't have, but that was such a mistake in that Leslie already said. Otto literally said, these motherfuckers listening to offers right now. So you as Rhaenyra, the queen, you as Rhaenyra, the dragon rider, you know the other side. You just stated that they have dragons too. So if y'all have this brilliant idea of, oh, we have dragons, we can send our messages on Dragonback. You don't fucking think they was thinking to do the same thing? Like they have royal fucking messengers too, you know, exactly. And they got dragons that are just as big and as impressive, if not more. You know what I'm saying? So like her sending him to do that was a miscalculated move, and then she really overplayed her own position, thinking that they was just gonna uphold to those fucking promises from fucking 20 years ago.
The only thing that I can think that maybe that she could have considered the reason why somebody, especially something like a Vhagar, wouldn't be there with Aemon is that, you know, you would think that especially as the war has started to I would have been going on the lightning strike, right? Especially as the war was starting to kind of unfold here, is that something like a Vhagar would have been in King's Landing protecting the home front. Maybe, right? That's the only, I mean, but even then, right, you're kind of playing loosey-goosey with that shit. Because you're right, we're still in the recruiting process. One of the things that also was stupid was that how this was Boros Baratheon, right? And I think the father was the one who was supposed to be
that's the one who made the promise.
Exactly. That's the one who made the promise. That was the one who took the oath, who had a great relationship with Rhaenys, right? And you know, and so, but he's dead. And they knew that this motherfucker was in charge. Well, they should have known that he was in charge now. And so Boros was always going to be a wild card. And he's clearly not like his father. And he's somebody who
even the wording of the message that Rhaenyra sent she sent word to remind him of his father's oath.
Exactly.
And that shit to him was just offending. They came empty-handed. Yep. This is coming from, again, the times that we're talking about. This is coming from a woman, somebody that we don't respect you as the authority. I have word here from the king. I have word from the king's brother. I have word from the king's brother who has promised to marry one of my daughters. I have word from the king's brother who has promised to marry one of my daughters on this big ass fucking dragon in my backyard.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What you thought Boros was going to like? Okay, imagine Boros saying no. Then what?
Exactly.
Then the fuck what? Like shit. Does Aemon get on Vhagar right then and there and burn that bitch down? So you know, Boros' hand was really pretty much tied. You know, can say he did some wrong shit, but he really did what he had to.
A bunch of daughters who, honestly, you know, they weren't exactly the belle of the bow. So I mean, for them motherfuckers to get married,
that was the come up. That was the come up.
You know, that's the ultimate fucking come up. It's the ultimate come up. You good to go. As your family. Especially since you have a person, especially if you have someone who has only fucking daughters, and it's just I mean, you know.
So the actual chase of Luke by Vhagar and Aemon. Obviously, we talked last week about,
and he can't read. Boros can't read either. So that's that's the comments. And they couldn't read, and I picked that shit up immediately. I was like, wait a minute, this nigga can't read.
But you're the Lord over the manor.
He like send me some.
That nigga said,
women.
Oh, wait a minute.
There's some wine and some women. This shit don't make sense to me.
What the fuck the mate said?
Nigga was like, wait, what the fuck? What the fuck am I supposed to do with this shit?
Remember your oath. Remember your fathers. But yeah, man. So anyway, y'all, literally, we see this chase taking place. We know that something bad is going to happen, or we believe it. Maybe, you know, I, as a show watcher and a show watcher only at this point, was holding out hope that Luke might escape, but it didn't feel like he was going to. Just the way that the Vhagar was looming, the way that it just felt like it was about to be a dark moment. I didn't know how dark or just how brutal the death was going to be. But I don't know. I mean, like to me, everything that we waited for up until that moment was worth that moment for me. So
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little underwhelmed. I can't even lie. Not underwhelmed by the action and the cinematography and the dragon flight and just, I mean, everything was just so beautiful, man. It was a really dope ass scene to witness that shit. It was me being a writer don't care about our feelings. No, they don't. Especially hell no. George R. R. Martin don't give a fuck about what we think at all. But as far as a fan of Aemon myself, I wanted this motherfucker to go like pure evil. Like I was sounded out, my lord. Yo.
Oh God.
Sounded out, my lord.
Y'all are silly.
Sound it out, your grace.
Hey, like what you call it? That's how Davos learned how to read. That nigga had to sound that shit out.
I know that's right. But Aemon to be kind of hesitant about killing fucking Luke, I ain't like that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't like that shit. I wanted that nigga. I mean, like in the books, it just said that he just fucking went out and basically murked that nigga, right?
Facts.
And so this whole time I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, this is him. This is who he's going to be. And for him to be hesitant, I guess shows some semblance of him being a okay person or whatever person or not evil person. But at the same time, though, that's sort of one of the appeals for me for Aemon is that like, he's this motherfucker who just doesn't give a fuck.
Right.
The Daemon of their side. Like I feel like that if that would have shooted the other way around, if Daemon would have been just chasing that motherfucker, Daemon would have just killed somebody.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I think that's a good point. I think though, is it possible that for him, because I don't think he's ever had blood on his hands in actuality before yet, but like it's the moment where it's like his first kill. So do you think that it's
not even his first kill? It's Vhagar's fucking
million
4,000th kill. Goddamn it!
Yeah.
You know,
Vhagar has killed many, but like with him as the at the hand of it, it's like it's kind of like, well, now he a killer. You know what I mean? He thought he wanted to be a killer, but now he is a killer. So how's he gonna respond to it? And I think he becomes who you're thinking about. Like I think they still kind of letting us have a younger version, the version that grew up with this, you know, like I'm fucking with you, I'm bullying you, but I'm just fucking with you. But like,
which is kind of right, but let me just also say this, right? The dragons essentially started the war, and this is something that Viserys touched on throughout the season, which was those dragons control us more than we control them. Hence the reason why Viserys didn't ride another dragon after fucking
Valerian.
Valerian. Yeah, after Valerian.
But I think that was just because Viserys was a bitch, though. Because I mean, when we see like,
okay, that too.
Just being frank. But the thing is,
okay, you got me. Yeah, that too.
But we see like, again, we see the bonds between different riders and different dragons. I think the strength of the bond depends on both the rider and the dragon and the circumstances behind the rider being on that dragon. You see, Daemon and Caraxes are fucking one. Like, them niggas is one fucking entity. Daemon don't have to say shit. When it's time for Caraxes to be there, nigga, that nigga get to making that fucking squeaky noise and coming with that neck shit.
Caraxes be like, my daddy, you call me? Cause I'm ready.
Hey, that nigga be hitting that fucking genuine.
With that fucking neck.
That giggity.
Man, listen. And then even beyond that, you see Daemon in the bond with Caraxes. You see Daemon in this episode also go and bond with Vermithor. And so like you see Daemon as a dragon rider, dragon tamer, dragon claimer is much stronger, obviously, than Aemon. He's older, of course. He has more experience with dragons, of course. but you see that strength. And then again, we just talked about Rhaenyra and the bond with Syrax. She's going through labor pains, and Syrax is feeling that shit with her. You know, that bond. Even we can jump to Game of Thrones, the bond with Daenerys and Drogon and Rhaegal and Viserion. Like, she had a bond with 3 dragons. You know, so like I think there's more to that as far as like the control. They speak in the book a little bit about like the different dragons, the older ones, of course, Balerion and Vhagar being harder to control because they're older, because they're larger, because they have had different riders in the past. So I think that lends to Aemon's bond not being as strong, or him not being able to control Vhagar the way he wanted to.
I wanna add to that you also have 2 children with emotions swirling around. You have one that's running from fear, and you have one that's like, I'm gonna get you. Right. And if the dragons are picking up on that, then Arax's response with the fire blast to the side, that was because he was feeling from Luke. And you know, Vhagar's like, you gonna try to hit me with some pebbles, bitch? Right. So, right. You know, and so it's like, okay, let me just break you off all the way. Snap, you know, and that was the end of Arax and Luke. And that's terribly unfortunate. And I'm so sad, and it just hurt me to the end. But you got children riding these beasts who have emotions themselves and can pick up, you know, on their emotions. So if they are not in control, if the humans are not in control of their emotions, then the beasts are not going to be in control of their emotions. And like Daenerys said, a dragon is not a slave.
Facts.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Courtney earlier said, what's my favorite word? And I was like, but you got to say it like short though. I'm like, that's what's up. I'm like, that's what's up, man. I mean, I think, you know, I think we've touched all of the bases tonight, y'all. Like, shit. Like, we ran a marathon. The season was super dope. I don't want to close out before, you know, I give everybody the opportunity to kind of wrap up if they got last thoughts before we begin to rewatch them Thrones, y'all, because that shit gonna be fun. I mean, first time I watched that shit, I was green as fuck to this whole show and this whole universe. This time around, like, I feel like a vet. So I'm looking forward to like watching it and like maybe us experiencing it, open some new eyes to it.
Yeah, and that's it for me. I was reminding everybody, 2 weeks. Episodes 1 and 2, season 1, Game of Thrones. We jumping right back in, man. Come fuck with us.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, y'all. Like, I mean, we're gonna do this shit together. Y'all's comments will be coming through, and if y'all want to come through, we'll send you the link so you can pull up. You could be on the show with us.
And we doing this because of the fact that like we are a community of nerds out here. And this shit is like fucking blue magic, right? Yeah, and we need this fix.
Y'all got any more House of the Dragon shit?
Know, we need this fix. It's like Coca-Cola, you know. Right. It's a brand name. I guarantee it. I stand behind it just as much as, you know. You know, so, you know, like, and so we're trying to provide this fix for all of us by doing this rewatch and kind of being a little slower and methodical with it. You know, 2 episodes every once every 2 weeks, and that should run us at least to where House of Dragon is starting to at least become, you know, in the mirror. At least we can see it down the line, you know, because this 2 year shit, you know, like, this is the good and bad with having dragons, right? It takes 2 years to do this shit. Yeah. Because of the fucking amount of money, CGI, and work that is being put to it.
Hey, y'all see that? What Don Jesse asked? Y'all still considering reading Fire and Blood and talking about it?
Definitely. Yeah.
I'm with that shit.
Listen. And we all gotta I encourage y'all to do it. Like, fuck it. Like, I'm telling y'all, the show is getting off different insight or enough from the books to where there will be enough and a lot of surprises. as a book reader myself, do it.
What pulls my teeth? So glad I found y'all podcast. Y'all made watching this season so easy to follow and enjoy. Thank you. That's love, man. Like Leslie said, we're as addicted to the show as we are to this community. Like y'all make this shit worth looking forward to. I don't think we could have got through 3 hours tonight without y'all.
Damn, nigga, we did 3 hours in this bitch.
Yes, we did.
I had to charge on my goddamn laptop. My shit was
no wonder this, bro. My fucking iPad on 9%.
About to die like fucking
we doubled up on this motherfucker. I know motherfuckers who just listen to the podcast gonna look at this shit like 3 hours, nigga. God damn.
What the fuck were y'all talking about?
Right.
Don't have to do part 1, part 2, and part 3, or part motherfucking chapter 11 of this.
No, but this crowd rock, that's the whole time they've been commenting the whole time.
We could have covered fucking we could have covered season 1, 2, and 3 of Game of Thrones already.
Right.
Nigga shit.
I feel like that's a good place to leave it, man.
We were supposed to be here for an hour and a half and can't go home.
Right.
Nigga
3 hours. You know what I'm saying?
Been talking in the driveway for 10 minutes.
Nigga shit.
I'm about to head
his foot hanging out the car. Nigga shit. Nigga get in the car and roll the window down and keep talking. Nigga shit.
Stop in the goddamn street, man, with motherfucking cars behind you and keep talking.
Nigga shit.
Nigga, that's supreme nigga shit right there, though. I ain't gonna lie to you, man.
Yeah,
I hate that shit with a passion. I'd be like, y'all niggas, boy. Ain't
man.
And then you still gotta be patient because they'll fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? And you get mad. You get like, look, you better wait. So
I got Vhagar in this motherfucker.
Right. What you gonna do? But yeah, man. Listen, we will be back in 2 weeks, and we want y'all's asses back with us. We're gonna be on them first 2 episodes. When I was
thinking about doing takeaways, like about the episodes, but let me know what y'all think.
That would be dope.
We gotta have some takes.
Somebody just asked about it.
I'll consider it.
We gotta have a take.
Oh, okay.
Somebody asked if you're gonna have a takeaway.
It's not complete without the takes.
I'll consider it. I'll see what I can do.
And as far as the books and stuff are concerned, if y'all like go to blackwithnochaser.com and like sign up for our wait list and stuff like that, our email list, then you will receive emails when we update y'all on what's going on. You know, if you haven't already, please go hit our podcast up on any podcast platform, Apple, Spotify. Rate us. If you feel like we are a 5-star podcast, please give us a 5-star rating and, you know, leave us a comment. We love to read the comments when y'all leave those. We read some really dope comments from people who have never listened to podcasts or never downloaded podcasts before that literally did that shit just because we have created this platform. And that's kind of that's really a dope ass feeling. Not from an ego place, but literally just like this is what we built this for. We built this for all of us. And so now that we got it, we don't want to let it slow down. We want to keep growing with y'all. So that being said, 2 weeks, until 2 weeks, y'all think black, live black unapologetically. This is Watch Them Thrones, Black with No Chaser. Peace, y'all. We out.
How do I lead this motherfucker?
Get out this.
How do we lead this motherfucker, man? Y'all gotta start typing that shit in the comments.
After fucking 3 hours for real, nigga.
Like real.
Right, nigga, I'm so hungry, and I'm intermittent fasting, so I'm nigga, I can't even eat now.
I'm finna go
I done missed my motherfucking meal. I gotta wait till tomorrow to eat. Bye, y'all. Let me end this broadcast before y'all hear the real nigga shit we be saying after the motherfucking broadcast over.